but it's exactly it's the exact kind of thing that I want to do. It's urban fantasy.
Right.
It's, in the vein of Jim Butcher. Like, this guy looks like he has it together. This cover's really professional looking.
Right.
Everything about it was so perfect. And I was like, so I just went after him like crazy. So I sent it off, and then I sent off another take, and then I sent off another take. I sent like 3 or 4 takes, and it was like, they allow you to send a bunch of different auditions. So I just kept doing it. I was like, here's another take, Justin. Here's a different approach. And so, like, it was so funny because I was like, I'm going to annoy the crap out of this guy. Oh my goodness. I hope he doesn't hate me, but I'm going to send another one, so I just wanted it that bad. And so anyway, and then a few days passed, and he actually got back to me really quick. He was like, hey man, thanks so much. This is great. I'm so glad you're so passionate about it. Like, he's probably just being kind.
What were some of your other favorite shows or movies that you did?
Well, I just did an episode of 911 that was incredible fun to do. I really enjoyed doing that. I'd have to say possibly my favorite experience, with the exception of Justice League, because working with Zack Snyder is amazing and incredible in every way. Doing Almost Famous was unbelievable. Okay. Cameron Crowe is such an amazing director. He's such a good guy. It was telling that story. And, it was like 4 months. It was how I spent a summer, was hanging out with a bunch of people who all liked each other, and we would play guitars all day and laugh. And sometimes they would turn a camera on us. And, it was a journey into an era of music that I love. And it was just heavenly.
A new yet not so new spin on how a soul works. Gives me an idea, if you relate it to quantum physics. To me, it makes the most sense out of what an afterlife could possibly be, mixing the scientific with the metaphysical. Okay.
If you put a gun to my head and said, what kind of gamer are you? I might say role player, like as my core, like my core person. Yeah, okay. I'm on a weekly podcast where I'm an elf named Pyrex Starfinder.
All right, what's the?
Drop
us the podcast.
Oh yeah, it's D6 Generations role play 8 charisma. Okay. You betcha. And so he comes from the Northern Temple, and he might be a little ambiguous or a little socially confused, but oh yeah, the things he does is super. He makes sure that everybody feels the power of the Nord. So yeah, so that's I love Pyrex Star. I love being Pyrex.
It's a real kick, right? To be able to say, I get to put words in Spider-Man's mouth or Wolverine's mouth or whatever. It's neat. But on the other hand, you also feel the pressure, because you're like, oh man, I don't want to, this is something that matters to me personally.
Yeah.
I also know there are a lot of fans out there. So if I screw this up, I'm going to hear from it. Rightfully so. I'm not going to argue with that. But it's tricky, some of the stuff I've done. I did a Marvel Heroes Battle Dice game for Playmates Toys that came out almost 20 years ago now. I guess maybe 18 years ago. And that actually had television commercials, and it was in Walmart and Toys R Us and Target and all that stuff. And I've worked on a couple different Marvel MMOs, just doing, barks and dialogue bits.
Run story. I got to write Sparrowhawk for them. And then I got an email from IDW, from a great editor named Denton Tipton, who was in charge of Star Wars Adventures at the time. I was the only person who had read The Last Jedi script, because I had to read it to write Phasma. And he was like, hey, as one of the only female comic writers on the entire world who knows who Rose Tico is, could you write us a comic? And I was like, yes, I could. Thank you.
Nice.
So that was my aim with IDW, was that I was the only female comic writer who had ever read the script, and no one else was allowed to read it. So I got to write those comics, which I've run the Pell RPG twice for World Builders at Emerald City Comic Con.
Okay.
At their kind of big party where, you contribute to charity and you get to come in and play games. And if you're at my table, you usually get free cake, because my friend Adam Mercunius always brings us a nice gluten-free cake.
Nice.
But yeah, this is my Spellbinder that contains the Pell RPG that I have written. But it's different than other RPG games because instead of like heavily dice rolling and math, it's all about, well, the gods of Pelinus is the Pel god. It's a two-headed god like Janus, which is me and Kevin.
Right.
And they just want to be entertained. They don't really care if you're good or bad. They want to be entertained. So it's like, it's not necessarily that you roll the dice, it's that you close your eyes and you stab this with your pencil. And then the gods interpret whatever you land on. Oh no's or the skull usually doesn't go well.
And it's so unique. It's one of this eye-catching style that when people walk by the booth and they just do like a double take and like, what is that?
Right.
And they just immediately have to just like touch the books, and it's not enough to just look at it. They just need to rub
right
their
there.
hand on the cover. Oh, let me feel this art.
We were talking earlier off recording about saying naughty things on the stream, and so I was like, can we go here?
And then Andrew Dare descended from the Dares of the Roanoke colony, which was half werewolves. So
Okay.
here I am. I'm getting to the world building history of the werewolves. And Silver was injected with silver nitrate. So not only can't she shift anymore, her arm where it was injected is dead. She can't really use it. She gets a little sort of mobility back, but it's never going to be like 100%.
Yeah.
And also it caused brain damage. So Silver herself sees kind of visions.
When you were writing the novels for something like Shadowrun and BattleTech or any of those, how much of the game system did you make sure to put into the writing? So if in D&D terms, if somebody throws a fireball and it's 20 feet wide and you need this spell component, do you put that in the story when you're writing the book, or are you just telling a story and forget about the system?
For me, the story was first.
Okay.
But the two universes were a little different.
Are you familiar with the term pantsing?
Yes.
People are outliners or pantsers. They write by the seat of their pants. So I had a vague idea of this novel I wanted to write in my own world. And I just sat down and started writing.
I mean, pantsing for some people means something completely different, but I know what you mean.
In the writing vernacular, nothing to do with actual pants.
What's kind of your style when you're putting it together a story? Or are you kind of a mix mash depending on the situation?
Yeah, I mean, I always say my process is chaos.
Okay. That's a good thing. I'm writing that. I'm adding that to the list.
Yeah, my process is chaos. It's different for every book. Different books have different needs. Like, for example, with the Anti-Darken books, because they were historical, I had to do a tremendous amount of research, and I did have to outline those because I was hitting certain historical events, and I needed to make sure that I had the timeline that I wanted and that I was hitting the things that I needed to, but that also the story made sense and was a compelling story using those events. So those books took me a lot longer to write. They were maybe a 3 or 4 month draft, and then obviously a lot of time in revision. Then you have things like The Dark Samples of Frankenstein, where I had the idea for a while, I had noodled around with things, and then once I actually figured out what the draft was, 7 days.
Yeah, it's something I like doing whenever people, tag me in like the urban fantasy Facebook group with like 30,000 members or something.
Yeah.
Someone will post about me, check out this book, which is awesome. I love seeing that. And then, I'll just randomly type in there, from a completely non-biased point of view, I like it, or someone will say like, oh yeah, I really like that book. And I said, and I hear the author is so extraordinarily humble as well. And not everyone catches that it's me who's the author. But when
it took me a second. I saw it and I was like, oh yeah, I got to make sure. Wait a second.
I love doing that. It's a lot of fun.
The thing I'm still best known for, it was called Night Train, and it was about basically a drain full of vampires, and that one just captured everyone's imagination. And from there, I went to reading over one of the first source books they released, and then I ended up writing the second one, Hucksters and Hexes. and maybe the third, Fire and Brimstone, and then on from there. So it was something I had thought about getting into.
And those are some core books for that system. Like when you wanted to play the game, other than the main book, those books, those two that you just mentioned right now, those were huge content pieces for people that wanted to play certain roles.
I won a Scribe Award last year for a novel I did for another tie-in company, Red Hat Productions, who does the Adventures of Basil and Mobius, which is very much James Bond meets Cthulhu. So it's nice. Really fun stuff. It's guns and monsters and fast cars and loose women, and it's just wonderful stuff. It's very, very campy and great. And I'm writing stuff with Eric Scott to be and
see some off the pod here, enjoy some great alerts. We'll have a grand old time here watching Epic Rounds tonight. We love it when we come here, we clip all of the screens. The chat gets kind of trolly on Epic Rounds scenes. But that's an awesome part of the Epic family. So let's enjoy the show now and start another hype train. We'll see the spicy chips fly on the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, epicational. This is what we call the Epic Show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome on in. Thank you for being here. Welcome and welcome and welcome. We are playing Dragon Bane today, tabletop RPG. I hope you guys are all doing well. Thank you for joining us. This is kind of a when we can do it, we can do it sort of game. I know Bryan has stated that he is planning on doing some other systems as well. So we're going to continue through this and yeah, so we're going to see where it goes from here. Where does it go from here? If you want to interact with the stream, all the alerts are pretty much turned on and available. You can also help or hinder the game with your channel points, which includes healing characters, bad guys, good guys, which also includes giving rerolls to the dice, stuff like that. The dungeon that you guys all love is also set up. So if you guys want to try out the new dungeon, there it is. We've got all kinds of new graphics as well. !join to join. You can go into the panel and you can change your skin tone and your hair type. And you can also equip your gear that you get in the dungeon. So there you go. And we also were able to change the timer on how long it hangs out there. So I am going to change where that thing pops up, though, so it's not covering people's faces. All right, rearrange it again right there. So there you go, right above Kit, you can see where they are. 3 of us went in, 3 returned. So there you go, and if you unlocked anything, you can go down into the panel and equip your gear. And yeah, there's no cooldown on that. And you can also, if you want to use bits to do it, you can. Eventually, there are only so many points that can be spent via Tangia via channel points, but I don't think we are going to hit that anytime soon. So I'm not super concerned about it. So, but yeah, there's all kinds of other stuff in that panel that you can do, whether you want to ask an AI chat a question, an AI bot like George Carlin. You can ask George Carlin a question and he will answer it as he sees fits. GLaDOS, DOS, capitals, is an AI, like a robot response, and she is very brutal. So be careful what you ask for, because she may let you have it. So all kinds of fun stuff in that overlay. So yeah, I'll be talking about that throughout the rest of the week until it's kind of a normal thing that you can interact with on the chat and on the stream. So with that being said, I also want to remind you guys that Friday is going to be the jump scare stream. So I will be wearing the brown pants on that day. So we're going to be playing a game called Don't Scream, where every time I scream...
121 asked me, will we survive the game tonight? Surviving a tabletop RPG is like surviving a poorly designed test chamber. It's all about strategy, a little luck, and not getting blasted by a turret. Given the multitude of variables, including player decisions, and the whims of the game, master survival is never guaranteed. But hey, at least if you fail, you can enjoy the sweet embrace of existential despair while you watch the chaos unfold. Good luck. You'll need it.
Good luck.
Good luck. We'll need it. So the AI bot, as you can tell, because it doesn't, you would have think, what game are you talking about? No, it references, it reads the stream, it reads the chat, and it compiles all the information to figure out the context of what you're saying. It also remembers everything you've asked it in the past until I reset it. So, if you ask that like 12 times in a row, who knows if she's going to be like, why do you keep asking the same goddamn question? So who knows? But yeah, enjoy that. Nice wait. What are we waiting for, Happy? What are we waiting for? And again, I think I've got... I don't know who else I have on the thing. I know George Carlin's on there because it was like perfect. I laughed so freaking hard at the George Carlin one. Let me see here. What other ones? I can pull it up.
See the George Carlin one.
What's that?
I don't see the George Carlin one.
It should be on there. It's not a channel point. It's an actual bit one.
Oh.
It's an actual bit in the panel. So here, I'll do
Happy TCCM asked me, will I finally work like I should, or will I be homeless? That's quite the existential dilemma, isn't it? Whether you'll function optimally or face the bleak realities of homelessness hinges on a tangled web of choices, opportunities, and perhaps a dash of luck. Just remember, even if you do end up in the depths of despair, at least you could observe how poorly society operates from a new vantage point. So keep strategizing, and hopefully the dice will roll in your favor.
Okay, then.
This is a little bit more deep than I was expecting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It won't let me ask George Carlin a question because I'm the person, but yeah, and I might drop it down to a little bit less. But yeah, there's Kool-Aid Man can bust through our stream. There can be a blackout on the stream and Daffy Duck can save us. You can troll. Oh, there's an AI Jack Sparrow. I also have an AI Jack Sparrow. I don't know how good it is, but I put it on there because, Jack Sparrow. And there's an AI David Attenborough, too. So those are all people you can ask questions to. George Carlin, Jack Sparrow, and David Attenborough. And you can ask them all questions and see what they have to say via the panel. And, of course, GLaDOS, you can ask in the panel or via channel points. So yeah, that's all that. That's all the stuff going on with that. Welcome on in, everybody. Thank you for being here. I hope you enjoy the evening. Feel free to play with all the toys, use all the tools. Redeemed a dice reroll. And I now have a dice reroll for the night, so I appreciate that. Welcome on in. Hairline fracture. There is also a Beetlejuice one, but I didn't select a Beetlejuice AI because he doesn't sound like Beetlejuice. It sucks. It sucked, so. There's also a Borat one that doesn't sound like Borat. With that being said, Bryan, would you like to introduce Dragon Bane to us?
I would. We are playing Dragon Bane, the RPG. It is from originally from Sweden, I believe. It's published by Free League Press, Free League Gaming Press, and where we last left off, our intrepid adventurers who were hired on by the Church of Seren Fae had arrived and cleared out the initial part of the monastery of this temple of a bunch of goblin bandits and horribleness, and did a great job actually, and released and saved one of the last living member of the team that went previously to try to do the same thing, and met a wolfkin wizard by the name of Gnarlfur.
Gnarlfur.
And Gnarlfur. With that, Gnarlfur mentioned or requested your help to continue in trying to purge the temple of this evil corruption that is actually sealed currently in the temple proper.
Right.
There's a pair of large, big, thick wooden oaken doors with like iron bands that has a bunch of these crimson symbols that are glowing, that are meant to sort of keep everything locked and in place. But judging by the charring on the door and like the slow pulsing fade of the glowing red symbols, admittedly the wards meant to keep whatever evil attacked the temple decades ago, to keep it locked in. Those wards are wearing down. And so kind of off stream, our intrepid adventurers may have done some purchases and some things to get ready for said event. And so let me get back to this here. And so with that, nice music, I dig it.
That's the dungeon has been activated.
Ah, okay.
So people can get in on the dungeon thing. So if you hear that, !join to join.
I forgot there's one thing I needed to do real quick. There we go. Oh, yeah, okay. Hopefully that centered it. Oh, maybe not. Oh, I apparently am not.
I don't know, but I brought us to us on my screen. So even though
there we go. Okay. So, as you make your final preparations, Gnarlfur looks to each of you and kind of leaning on his staff a little bit. It's like, so I am primarily a healer, and maybe I know a little bit of magic, mostly to dispel magics, but also a little bit of healing. Although I'm not great at it, but I'm. It's also good that you gave me some of those bandages to try and help you heal you up. But I admit, if it's not magical, I may need some help being protected if things go south. But if nothing else, if something in there is magically
delicious,
no doubt there's some sort of magic. There's some sort of magics involved, and I can try and deal with them as best I can.
I think your healing will be more than what we need.
I mean, it looks like, for the most part, you all look pretty warrior-y, I guess you could say. Fighters, warriors, perhaps?
Yes.
Okay. Do any of you know magic?
No.
I see. All right, then.
Hey, Chrisana, when she says you all look like warriors, she like stands up and eyeballs the other two, and does that like that nod head, like, yeah, that's right. Because she's totally not, but they are.
Baz just kind of like cocks an eyebrow, but doesn't say anything.
Boom, spawned a dungeon.
Well then, are you ready?
Yes.
And you see the Gnarlfur starts kind of making some incantations and waving around his hands, and you see that you hear this sort of sizzling sound as the individual glyphs seem to kind of, there's like a small popping sound, along with followed by an intense sort of sizzle as basically the wards start to burn out and fade from their red glow. And you see it appears to almost even damage the door a little bit, although the door also is already pretty damaged. In fact, the doors kind of fall in. And what you see, the first thing that you see kind of draws attention is that even though there are no like torches per se lit, there are several flames that are lighting up and casting shadows about the pillars and whatnot, from this sort of central area that's kind of a depression over here where I'm pinging to the left of where you're seeing on the map there. But there's several sort of like pits, for lack of a better term, or channels that has flame coming out of it. And then further on a kind of a raised dais, there is a much larger, roughly circular diameter flame. However, the flames that you see are not of this kind of orangish red color like you see on the map, because I don't have different versions of the map. In fact, what you see instead is everything is bathed in this kind of very, almost like an unhealthy, pale, kind of greenish light, as you see that the flames are actually kind of a green sort of, like a bale fire, which any of you, I would say, if you want, you can go ahead and make a Myth and Legends roll if you'd like.
Absolutely.
And while you're doing that, I'm going to get some things ready here. Hey, you made it.
I made it.
Did we rested, right?
Yes. You rested. You should be at full.
I made it too.
I need to click that button that does the.
Yep.
Is that
go
a
ahead
full
and do that.
a full rest, a round, a stretch?
You are a full rest.
I can't click
You're back
that.
to full.
It only likes me to click round or stretch.
Stretch rest. Or well, it should be a shift rest technically, but so actually, sorry, don't click on the stretch rest, or you can reset that.
How do I? How do I do that?
Ultimately, it's just your willpower and hit points. You could just put them back to max.
Well, I got a little. I've got an exhausted token too. Oh, I suppose I can just uncheck that.
Yeah, you can just uncheck it.
And then what are the other two? Willpower.
Your willpower and hit points will go back to full.
Should it be 15 out of 15 for willpower? Or should it be 0 out of 15?
15 out of 15.
It should be 15. If
Okay.
15 was your willpower points, then it should be 15 of 15.
Okay, got it. All right, and then we were rolling a myths and.
Okay, so Kristanna doesn't necessarily know much more about it, but I'll say since both Bastion and Mikander rolled very well, you know that the kind of the greenish sort of bale fire is a type of like a hellfire typically associated with demons.
Okay.
And that demons are in this world or in this setting, and ultimately in the Dragon Bane game, there's kind of a war across the ages that's sort of been had between dragons and demons. That's even why when you roll a natural 20, it's a demon roll, and when you roll a nat 1, it's a dragon roll. At least in terms of the game, like they even kind of imprinted in that a little bit. Demons are horrible creatures that want to, destroy life and happiness and everything that exists. And the balefire is basically like a corrupted form of fire, because even demons corrupt flame, which definitely, in terms of Saren Faye's sort of fire is purity kind of thing. It like burns the impurities from you, that kind of thing. It's definitely kind of a slap in the face to anybody that is a devout worshiper of that particular religion. More importantly, though, as you see that and take it all in, several shapes seem to sort of get illuminated from those pale green flames, and you see that there are several skeletal, animated skeletal bodies of humanoids of some kind. In fact, some of them maybe even have tattered remains or tabards of the Church of Saren Faye. There is one standing pretty much directly in front of you that is wielding wearing what appears to be, I believe, a bit of chainmail, and actually is wielding a sword and shield, if I recall. And then you see that there are several others scattered amongst the pillars that appear to be appear to have crossbows. But what ultimately sends a kind of shiver down your spine, as if the undead, the unnaturalness of that weren't enough, you see off on the far end, you see this individual. If I do this right, why is this not working for me?
Shift C.
Yeah.
You have to click it and then shift. There you go.
There we go.
Whoa.
You see a demon.
Ooh. Hello, is this an adventure module? I do not believe this is an adventure module. Is it, Bryan?
It is not a pre-made adventure module. This is just something I kind of developed.
Here we go.
So the maps are all stuff I found on or had access to either from some different Roll20 things that I like, map packs or whatever, that I kind of slapped together. Technically, they're two separate maps.
Okay.
The tokens are part of the Dragon Bane. Like, they give you some part of the Dragon Bane Roll20 thing is they give you some tokens. So like the skeletons and whatnot.
Yeah.
Are part of that. The demon is actually something I had to create with a token maker, because it's not in the main book. It's actually in the bestiary or bestiary, depending on how you want to pronounce it.
Gotcha.
At any rate.
And don't worry about interrupting. Depending on which games we're having, some of them are more interactive than others. And this one, you can totally interrupt. You can ask questions. You can play alerts, stuff like that. We've got no problems with that. So
yeah,
it's interactive. There's channel points you can use to interact, to heal or hinder us as well. So yeah, feel free. I want to make a poster, like a Venn diagram of all of our games, and where on the interactive scale and where on the interrupt and type scale it is, and the seriousness maybe. And we've got another dungeon up! ! Join to join that dungeon. Okay, so there's a demon we have to fight.
There is a demon. amongst the undead.
I slapped the other two on the shoulder. Hey, look at that weapon he's got. And I just point at it like very blatantly obvious. That thing's cool. A little big for me, but...
I wouldn't touch it if I were you. It's corrupted metal. Gnarlfur says. However...
what if you're wearing gloves?
Any sort of demon blade is typically meant to be, well, how should I say it? It's usually full of corruption. That being said, there are some methods that could be used to purify it and make it a weapon against demonkind, but that's a whole other situation, and I'm talking too much, and I should draw initiative cards.
Yeah, roll initiative.
As the
poke.
Kill demons first, talk weapons later.
Yeah. All right, so Skeletal Champion got a 9. And so basically, as the doors open up, you see them, they see you.
And a niche will be had.
And a niche will be had. Oh, right. Exactly.
You know what? This seems like a big old battle that maybe we want to go big on. So I'm going to use my lightning fast ability.
Okay, and what does that do?
I may draw 2 cards instead of 1 when determining initiative.
Alright.
Hi, this is Epic Realms. Welcome to Dragon Bane.
Welcome.
Let's see what happens if I stick my finger up the bum of this skeleton. It don't got no bum.
I drew 2 cards. They were a 4 and a 3.
Thank you for the 39 months.
Yes, I will take whichever one is a smaller number. That means I get to go sooner.
Okay.
How old are your hot chips?
It's a fresh bag. I just opened it last week. Last Wednesday I opened it. Actually, it's 1 week opened. No.
Mine are super old.
God damn it, Epic Realms.
For those that are in here that are watching that don't know, every level of hype train completed, I or we have spicy chips.
Fox asked me, why is the rum gone? Ah, the age-old question, mate. Why is the rum always gone? It's a mystery wrapped in an enigma, soaked in a barrel of rum, and then promptly drunk by yours. Truly. See, the thing about rum is it has a tendency to disappear faster than a ship in a fog. But don't you worry. We'll find more. There's always another bottle out there, just waiting to be plundered. Now, where did I put that compass?
Yeah, turn it up. Yeah, turn it up. Yeah.
All right.
Turn it up. Yeah.
I truly do believe that he drank that barrel of rum.
He did drink that barrel of rum. The whole one.
All right. So at the top of the round is McCander with Prasanna on deck.
Wow.
Let's see if anybody comes in and helps you out, Matt.
I moved there with my 8.
Okay.
And that's kind of what I can do, unfortunately.
So not doing anything else then?
Really don't have much for ranged weapons.
Gotcha. Okay, then it is Prasanna with Bastion on deck.
All right, I got a 12 move. All right, it's a weird movement thing, isn't it?
So every square is like 2, should be like 2 meters.
So I can go to there. Go away. Go away.
And I can go 2 here.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I miscounted. I can go to here. Only of it.
Gotcha.
2 minutes left to get on a hype train if anybody wants to trigger it. I think Zion and Seven-Tailed Fox have got it going.
And then, Krisanna, are you doing anything else? Taking an action or anything?
I don't think there's any actions I can take.
Okay.
Like draw my weapons.
I'm assuming everybody already has their equipment drawn, and
I just I was like,
drawing
well, I don't know
weapons
what
is
else I
kind
can
of
do. Do that one.
Sure. Okay. Then we go to Bastion.
Right. Well, Bastion's got a speed of 14. And we can do a little bit of movement, do an attack, and then a little bit more movement, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like if for those that are familiar with like 5th edition D&D, you don't have to use up all your movement right away or do only a movement and attack. You can kind of split your attack or action between your movement.
Okay. And what I'm gonna do is move forward a little bit, like over here.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna huck a short spear at this skeleton champion.
Okay.
Huck it. Kujas says, I don't know if I'm pronouncing the name right. I recently did a hosting of Dragon Bane RPG with the Valley of the Misty Vale. I can't believe such an amazing system existed. I was mainly focused on 5th edition, but with WotC changes over the years and a few controversial things here and there, a few controversial things that they've done, started looking at other RPGs. I was surprised that such an amazing system existed. Such a breath of fresh air. Even discovered Alien RPG through a good old Free League. Yeah, there's a lot of great RPGs out there. A lot of them.
Yeah, Free League also makes this or produces this. So it's the same. It may not be the same mechanical system because I admittedly have not looked at the aliens. It's on my wish list, but yeah. So sorry, I'm trying to look up something real quick here because of course
you're running. I just figured while you were looking stuff up, I would catch up on the chat.
Where's my skills thing? The skeleton warrior champion wants to do a thing, but here we go. Okay.
That's all right. He doesn't need to do the thing.
Thank you for the follow. We do tabletop role playing every Wednesday night. And Mondays we do our podcast where we interview game designers, authors, stuff like that. So welcome on in. This Monday we're actually going to be joined by New York Times bestselling author Alexine Farrell Falmuth, also known as Olivia Blake. Amazing author is going to be joining us on Monday. So thank you for joining. Thank you for the follow.
Oh yeah, no, you can do it with the shield. Haha.
Aha.
Okay, so.
I don't like the sound of that. Aha.
Yeah, well, you're not supposed to like the sound of the aha.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's where you would take
on
me.
As intended.
Oops, that's not what I wanted.
You wait. I'll be gone in a day or two.
There we go. So the skeletal champion is going to attempt a maneuver.
Yeah.
Well, he can attempt it as long as he fails it. That's the rule that I've made.
And fails, so you do hit it.
Ah! Yes.
And I would say you hit it. So here's the interesting thing.
Yeah.
So it is wearing chainmail and has a big, like a heavy shield and a long sword. You chuck your spear, and it tries to bring the shield up, but you're so quick, the spear sails right through it, and you see the spear impact it, and you hear this sort of squelching of like scraping of metal against metal as the spear pierces the chainmail and goes right through the champion and out the other side before kind of clattering to the ground. The skeleton looks slightly damaged, but you realize your spear is a kind of a piercing thing, and they are literally just bones.
Yeah. Wasn't sure if that was actually still a thing in Dragon Bane, but I figured it was worth a shot.
So yeah, skeletons, piercing weapons do half damage, and then they rounding down and or no, rounded up. My apologies. So actually, let me double. That should actually mean that. Why was that? So that should have actually. So that should be that. Okay. So it did do some damage, just not as much as you would expect from those that have a little bit more meat on the bones, like goblins.
But it did do a little bit of damage to him, right?
Yes, and that little blue line.
So I got that going.
That was.
Which is nice.
Which is nice.
Darn tootie. Sorry,
and then after I chuck that, I'm gonna move up here.
All right, and then I'm gonna put a little blue line there. That's just to indicate that's where your long spear is.
Short spear, but yes.
Or short spear, sorry.
Yeah, no, I still have my long spear.
Okay.
That's my melee stabbing. Short spear is my ranged stabbing.
So the next is the Chaos Demon. You see, it looks at all of you with its baleful, glowing yellow eyes and cackles in a demonic delight, so to speak, and you all of a sudden see its wings start to beat, and some dust and cobwebs start going everywhere because no one's really been in the temple for a long time, at least actively moving around so much, and starts flying. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and dashes as its action to double its speed and move closer. Yes, closer. And with that, it then goes to the skeleton archers, who have. All right, of course, I didn't print off that page. That would have been smart. Let me do that.
Demon would be like, foolish mortals, you dare to the domain of the unaware of the horrors that await thee, and yells, your souls are mine. Your souls are mine.
The skeletons the archers are going to start to move up here and see about attacking y'all.
Please, I have no soul.
Okay, I don't know what that was, but that was awesome.
Squidward says, oh, please, I have no soul. After your souls are mine.
So let's see. We're going to start with the Sky. Going to take a pot shot at Bastion.
I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
Shenanigans?
Shenanigans?
Hey Farva, what's that place you like with the Monty sticks?
Yeah, I don't know why it cut out that middle part. Shenanigans?
Okay, that archer is also going to shoot at Bastion.
Ooh.
2, 4.
Scary dungeon. Scary forest dungeon.
All right, so the 3 skeletons at the top will try to shoot at Bastion. The 3 on the bottom, 2, 4, 6, 8. That one will shoot at Krisana. 6, 8. That one. Actually, that one can shoot at McCander. Well, the first one can shoot at McCander. The second one will shoot at Krisana. And
Talk
then
about threading the fucking needle with that shot.
barely, but 2, 4, 6, 8, and 2, 4, 6, 8. And that one's gonna just move up. All right. Come on. There we go. All right, so first attack. We'll do this at McCander. Misses.
Woohoo!
Attack at Krisana. Does hit unless you have an ability you want to use or want to use your ability to either an ability or an action. You can use your action to, since you haven't gone yet, I believe.
Yeah,
right?
I'll use my action.
Or no, you did. You did move. Okay, yeah, never mind.
We've
then.
all gone.
Oh, but hold on a sec. I don't need. Let me see. I've got an ability. I've got an ability. Where are my abilities listed? Oh, there. Nope, that's not it. Is it this one? You can activate this ability when dodging an attack, getting a boon to evade the roll. Fast footwork. You may attempt to dodge an attack without consuming an action for the round.
There you go.
The bonus dodge can be performed at any time during the round. You may only try to dodge the same attack once. This ability can be used multiple times per round as long as you have enough points.
So you could use that ability to dodge even though you've already used your action.
All right. I'll have just used my thing to dodge.
So then go ahead and make an evade skill check.
No, I failed anyhow.
Okay, so you will take 4 damage. And then the way this game system works, just as a reminder, any armor rating you have reduces the damage typically by the armor rating.
And how much damage did I take?
4.
I take 3 damage.
And then for Bastion, the first attack will hit.
Ouch.
For 10 damage, because apparently I'm
Jesus.
evil.
Holy hell. Okay, well.
Try to dodge that.
As for armor, I can't. I've already gone. I don't have that special ability.
Oh.
Second attack misses, and third attack misses.
And for people wondering, go if you want to equip your things or look at what you got, go down to the panel. At the top of the panel, you'll see a search bar. Underneath it, there will be 4 pictures. Looks like a wrench, a shield, a microphone, and a little door. Click on that little door, and it'll bring up your character and all of your gear and stats.
That is it for the skeleton archers. Gnarlfur will move up behind Bastion. And Gnarlfur is going to attempt to heal you. And here's really hoping that he does. Let's see here. Oh, not that one. That one, that one, that one. And you know what? I think you got damaged for quite a bit. I think he's going to try casting it at a level 2.
Eat the wound.
So he succeeded. Go ahead and, well, actually, I can roll it, I suppose. You will heal 9.
Wow.
And which of us gets healed?
That was Bastion.
Okay, just making sure.
Because I believe of those who got hit, Bastion was hit the hardest.
Yeah, I took 9 damage, or 7 damage there, and you said I healed 9?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Back to full.
All right. Ooh.
And
well, that was a roller coaster.
You actually hear, because you heard Gnarlfur say some dibbly gook or whatever to cast the spell, but you kind of hear him mutter under his breath, "Holy shit, that worked." The private joke or inside joke on that is, so for those that are watching, I ran this adventure with my family in a family game as kind of my guinea pigs, and Gnarlfur did not succeed in casting any magics, and not that I'm trying to intimidate any of y'all, but yeah, I TPK'd them. So we'll see how this goes.
Oh boy.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Hopefully fine.
Yeah. What could go wrong? What could go wrong?
Everything. Okay, Chaos Demon. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Starts flying closer. Then we have the Skeletal Champion. And he moves at a 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Oh! And so the Skeleton Champion is going to double move. So basically move and then take its action to dash to get up to Prasanna, and that's all it can do. Bastion, did you want to use your ability to keep your initiative?
No, I think I'm actually going to use my lightning fast one again to just draw 2 cards.
Okay. So then I'm going to draw initiative for the next round. Then Bastion draws 2. A 1 and a 7. I'm assuming you're going to want the 1.
I do indeed want that 1.
Take it. Take the 1.
I'm taking that 1, and I'm keeping that 1. I will be hogging it for the rest of the game.
That's fair. Hey, the skeletal archers go at the same as before. That's good.
Does it cost you anything to keep the 1?
It does, but it's just 1 willpower each round.
Okay.
Yeah, it's relatively cheap.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Bastion, you are first with the Chaos Demon on deck.
All right. Let's see, how close did I get to this guy? Oh, I think I could just barely get there. I suppose I don't actually really need to be right next to him because that's fine. We're gonna pop up here next to Skeleton Archer numero 1.
Okay.
And then, since the stabulating doesn't seem to work as well, we're gonna try some slashulating with a scimitar.
Oh yeah, I forgot you had a scimitars.
Scimitar.
Yeah. Ha.
Scimitar.
There we go. That's
That
a nice
hits.
scimitar roll.
That does. Let's see, what is there? So they are wearing that. Actually, I believe. So you hit 9 damage. The archers don't have any like. They don't even really I mean, they aim towards you like they want to shoot you, but they don't otherwise react to you running up to them. Like no combat dodginess, and so you slash it, and I believe actually 9 damage -1 for the armor. Yeah, you chop that into pieces, and it just you bring down your scimitar, it shatters into pieces.
Beautiful. And then we'll just kind of like press right up against the pillar that we're next to as like cover.
Sure.
And that will be Bastion's turn.
All right. The Chaos Demon. 8, 10, 12. 2, 4, 6, 8, 12.
For a second, I thought he was stealing my spear.
No, but is approaching all of you and cackles as he looks down at you with his glowing, baleful eyes. Prasanna is like, "You look delectable." And that is the Chaos Demon's turn. It is then Makander of Half Bay.
How does our halfling rogue sneak attack ability work? Does she have to be flanking or?
Has to be adjacent to a monster that an ally is also adjacent to.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe so.
10. So if I'm here, both adjacent, can get sneak attack off next
Within
round.
2 meters.
Within 2 meters, which is a square, basically.
Cool. I move there, and then I am going to attack.
Okay, you're attacking the skeleton champion.
Yep. I hit.
Yes, but before that, I believe the skeleton champion is going to try to block. And in point of fact, is going to try to use defensive again to block. We see very large shield. Oh no, and it does not block, so it will get hit.
Nice.
Okay. And that is slashing damage, which the beauty of that. Now, just to verify, that's not. Oh yeah, okay. Never mind. I am correcting myself. So that was 15 damage. He's got an armor of that. You whack it solidly, and it's the chainmail kind of ties up the axe a little bit, and when you pull it free, several metal links kind of go spraying forth, and you have chopped into it pretty severely. It's still up, but it's definitely not as mobile as it was.
Awesome.
Or as healthy as it was before. I mean, you can see its bones and everything. Like that's usually not a good sign. Prasanna is next.
So, I guess I will try to attack said monster in front of me.
Do you want to use the sneak attack option?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going to use my dagger. Dagger, because we're Minnesotan. Dagger.
Dagger.
Because
I forget. Dagger can be piercing or slashing, right?
Correct. Because I saw what the spear did, so.
Yes.
All right. So. I don't remember what to click on. I just click on dagger, right?
So if you scroll down to the bottom of your character, there you go. Oh my God, you crit.
All right. What does that mean?
Oh, nice.
So when you crit, when you roll a dragon, which is a nat 1, you have a couple of options as far as what you can do with the crit when making a melee attack. You can decide to do one of two things. You can double your damage dice, not counting the bonus you get from a high agility or high strength, but like all the other damage dice, you can double that damage.
Like sneak attack.
Yep.
Like sneak attack. You otherwise you can perform a second attack on another enemy, or you can ignore if with a piercing weapon you can ignore their armor. Also, or you can shove.
Yeah, we'll just do the double damage.
Yeah, because doubling that sneak attack, oh my god.
So let's see. So right now, so you have an 8 on the D8. That's awesome. So that'll be 16. That'll be 19. And then roll your D8 for the backstab.
And then we double it all afterwards. Is that what I'm hearing?
No, I'm already. So just roll your backstab die.
So 2 die 8 instead of a die 8. Is that what that's what it says? No.
Yeah.
So just one more D8.
Oh, because it already rolled a die 8 for me.
Right. Yep.
Right. I'm already factoring in the damage you're.
Right, but my
Vader
sneak
did
attack
on
would be 1 die 8, and I would get it twice. So it would be 2 die 8 I'd be rolling, right? Or are you just doubling the total?
I'm just doubling the total for
Okay.
now. I mean, technically,
I'd take that because if you rolled an 8 and a 7.
Yeah, take that down.
Just double them.
I'm just doing what we did, yeah.
So 15, 30, yeah.
33.
So then half that to, so what I say, 33. So half of that is 16. And then minus.
And I don't have to worry about the damage reduction because I'm using the dagger.
Oh, right. Yeah, he's down. You slash his head off, or its head off. Provided it lets me. There we go.
Nice.
Sunstrider found a cute puppy to snuggle in the dungeon. Yeah, you get distracted by puppies in the dungeon.
There was one of those dungeons. I found like 3 puppies.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was like 80% of what I did in that dungeon was just find puppies.
Puppies are great.
Right?
One of the results is you find the rum and get lost.
So I just want to say for the record, you guys are already doing way better than the other group. Granted, Luck of the Rolls does some of that, but you're doing much better. After Kursana is the skeleton archers. So these two are going to move like so and shoot at Bastion. You're the closest. For these 3, so yeah, this one's gonna shoot at McCander. This one's gonna, I think, shoot at, yeah, actually, this one's gonna move up slightly. Probably to like there, and then it's gonna shoot at, I think, Persona, and then 8. And then this one's going to shoot it. So basically, Kursana, McCander, and Gnarlfur are going to get 1 attack from the archers, and Bastion's going to get 2. Oh, for crying out loud. Come on now. There we go. Okay, so first attack. This will be at, we'll just do Gnarlfur first. That's fine. Crap. Hits for so you hear Gnarlfur kind of whelping a little bit of pain as a bolt sticks in his chest. Then we got this is for McCander.
Parry ranged attacks or no?
You have a shield?
Yeah.
Then yes.
Cool.
If you have a shield, yes. Otherwise, there's a heroic ability that allows you to do it with a melee weapon.
Sweet.
Now, have you used your... You have not used your action yet, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Do you want to use your action, or do you have a... I forget if you took a defensive ability that allows you to...
Oh, sorry, no, I have gone this round, so I do have to use the defensive ability.
Do you have the defensive?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, so I will. What do I click again to make it work?
Well, so you click on the name of the heroic ability, that'll just knock off the willpower, and then as far as your blocking,
cool.
You're blocking with whatever your weapon skill is.
Yep, and it
So
is
probably axes, because I know you're pretty decent with that.
Do not make it.
No, you did make it.
Oh, I did make it. Sorry.
You rolled under. So you block the attack. So the arrow thuds into your shield. So that was the attack on McCander. And then we've got an attack on Kursana. Misses. And now the two attacks on Bastion.
Yeah.
First one really misses.
Sweet.
Oh, actually, let me double check something real quick here. Is it on this? Is it on the cheat sheet, or do I have to?
Did it roll a 20?
It did, in point of fact, roll a 20 on the first roll. So before I just want to double check, because I think it. If it did, I think I have to roll on a... Do me a favor, roll me a D6.
D6. 1.
So the skeleton drops its crossbow at its feet. So it's got that going for it, which is nice.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
And that is the skeleton archer. So then the chaos demon. I need someone. Actually, I think Kursana, you are right there in front of it. I would like you to roll a d6.
One.
Okay, it moves up to here and takes a swing at you with its black runic sword. You can this is not parryable. You can evade if you want, or if you have the ability to do so.
Well, I was told that thing's bad, so let's we'll use that, and we'll go like this. And I evade.
Oh, and you duck the swing, which is good, because as the blade swings by, you see like smoke and even some ashes come off of it. But what's even more disturbing is you hear this. You don't know if you hear it with your ears or if you hear it in your mind. There's this faint susurrus of screeches and howls of pain. It's not a happy thing to get hit with a sword, so it's good that you duck that.
That thing's icky.
And you see Gnarlfur's like, of course it's icky. It's a goddamn demon. All right.
Not just any demon, but a goddamn demon.
That's right.
God damn demon.
Gnarlfur, I think, is going to attempt to try and banish the demon because it's a threat.
Ooh, that would be really badass.
He can certainly try.
Certainly try. And then, where did my...
That'd be huge.
Dang it, where did that... Frazzle, Rigga, Frigga, Brigham... I wish they had just like a miniaturized, not like a close the window, because now I can't see me cast the damn spell.
Oh.
There we go. Holy shit, he did it.
Ooh.
Chat has redeemed a dice reroll.
Oh, I had a reroll. I could have done that to dodge the attacker that I get when I got hit earlier.
Like, I don't want Gnarlfur to re-roll this, but if he needs to dodge or parry later on, I want him to not be squished.
Yeah.
Fair.
I appreciate that.
That was a really good banish. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what it does for damage.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, so the good news is the demon is horribly damaged. The bad news is Gnarlfur's now enemy number 1. Because
But luckily, was Gnarlfur's turn, right? So the bad guy's got a little bit to go because he just attacked me, right?
that was
right?
Gnarlfur's turn. So now we draw for initiative. Bastion gets a 1.
Yep, and I'm using my 1.
Wow, so that banish, that it ignores armor, and it can't be dodged or parried? Yeah. Wow.
Correct. So the trick is you just have to be able to cast it. Succeed on the casting, which is kind of the big thing. But yeah, you guys are doing way better. Way better. I think we had a lot of bad rolls in the other game.
Yeah. Look at you guys. You have all your gear in the going into the dungeon.
Charge!
Yeah, finally figuring out how all this works.
Yeah.
It doesn't always let me join when I hit join. I don't know what's going on.
It shows you in there for me.
I did this time, but sometimes I type join and it's like nothing happens.
Sometimes there's also the stream delay too.
Oh.
Although you guys can hear it in real time, so.
All right, so top of the new round. Why did Prasanna get a... No, that's not right. You can't both get a 1. Of course, you're not letting me do the thing. There. So Bastion is first, Makander on deck. Ooh, dear Lord, and then the Chaos Demon goes twice. Could be horrible.
Okay, so here's what I can do. I can pop back over here. And we're going to try to give this skeleton, or not the skeleton, demon here, good old wacky whack with, oh, actually, you know what? He's not pierce resistant. I could do that with the long spear, couldn't I?
I don't know. I guess we'll have to find out.
Well, the long spear definitely does more damage, so we're going to try that.
All right. Now, I'm assuming then you're probably, I believe like sheathing or drawing a weapon's like a free action, so I'm assuming you're just sheathing your sword and then popping them with the spear. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and make an attack.
You do? Ooh, just barely. That's a success.
So that will hit.
14 stablation damage.
Now, a few things happens. First off, everybody within 2 meters of the demon, so that would be Bastion and Prasanna.
Yeah.
As you pierce it, its blood splashes upon you and starts to corrode. You will each take, the two of you will take 3 damage. You can try to evade it by dodging if you have the ability to do so.
I'm going to assume that I can't since I've technically gone.
Do you have any abilities that allow you to make a evasion?
No.
Okay, so you will get hit. In addition, if you are wearing armor, so if you get hit by the corrosive blood, you will not only take the damage, but your armor is permanently reduced by that same amount.
Damn.
Ooh. I don't suppose I could say that I was standing one more square away because I have range with the spear, could I?
No, we've
Or
played
has
a few
that ship
sessions.
sailed?
You know better.
I mean, I wouldn't have known better that the demon had blood that would spray out and eat me when I killed it, but we wouldn't have known that either way. So
Well, you wouldn't have known
that's
that
fair.
either way, but
Yeah, no, it's all good. I made my bet. I'll line it.
Yeah.
but the demon is severely damaged by your hit, and does not look long for this world, which is probably a good thing because it's a demon and they shouldn't live long in the world, ideally. McCander, you are next.
McCander will move here and swing at the baddie.
Okay. You miss.
I do.
Okay.
I am angry.
Okay, you're gonna push it and be angry.
I am going to hold on. I'm gonna look at one.
Oh, you have that. Yeah.
So
not only this next roll
is
when you
as a boon.
You make a skill roll. Okay, so the re-roll would be the boon then.
Yep.
Okay.
So I basically just roll again and then hit the roll again button.
Well, yeah.
Yep.
Well, no, you don't. Well, you're gonna hit there anyway.
Yeah. How come? Oh, it didn't roll damage because I rolled my skill and not my weapon.
Oh.
Yep. So just go ahead and roll the.
Yep.
Click on the weapon to do the damage, and we'll just ignore the.
12 damage.
Dear Lord.
Oof.
And I'm assuming it's not considered a shadow creature or whatever it's called.
It's not considered nightkin. Only the goblins and orcs and ogres are considered nightkin.
Cool.
That being said, you choppinates the crap out of it. Why is this not? Dang it, treasure deck. Why are you? There we go. You chop it in half, and it collapses to the ground where you. I would also need all of you. Will take 3 damage from more corrosive blood as you sizzlinged it, and if you are wearing armor, the armor rating is permanently reduced by the same value.
How do we change that on our sheet? Do we just type it in?
My apologies, guys. I screwed up. It's a D3 damage, but if you're wearing armor, you don't take the damage. The armor's permanently reduced instead.
Oh.
And then once it's reduced, once the armor's at 0, does it stop being reduced, or?
When the armor drops to 0, it's effectively damage beyond repair because it's permanent damage.
And that's when we start taking damage, or is it just like?
And then you start taking damage.
Okay.
Yeah. So in last time that when Bastion hit him with the 3 damage, if that was enough to drop your armor to 0, whatever was left over would have done damage to you.
Okay.
So I screwed that up. My apologies. So this time, same deal. If you still have armor, your armor rating is permanently reduced by 3. Otherwise, you'll take 3 damage.
Cool.
Also, not that it really matters, I don't think, but if any of you have any plants on you, they are withered to nothing because apparently this thing has an aura that does that.
My marijuana, no.
No. Knew I should have got gummies.
But let's see that. But that does defeat the Chaos Demon, so I will delete that guy out of there. I will say this much too. One other thing you do notice with the death of the demon, so its body falls to the ground and actually starts kind of doing the whole gremlin sort of bubbling and melting sort of thing as it melts and actually does sort of not quite as potent as like alien blood from Aliens, but does create a fairly big indentation in the ground from its like melted blood as it kind of bubbles away into a ooze and then into kind of smoke and nothingness. However, there is a clatter as its blackened steel sword etched with horrific demonic runes sits there, still glowing, waiting. I'll leave it at that. And then we're going to put that guy to the back. Okay. So then it is Krisanna's turn. And I feel, did I miss something? No,
I like, you get it off, get it off, get it off.
Well, and in some cases, like, especially if it damaged your armor to get to the point where it's like 0, you probably are like ripping it off before it.
I will take I'll just take it off.
I mean, it's once it's permanently gone, it's kind of effed regardless. But yeah, sorry. So Krisanna, I keep talking. My apologies. Krisanna, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
So yeah, I remove my armor because that's gross. I mean, I understand I don't need to, but I'm going to take an action because it's role playing and take the armor off.
It's like free action because it's pretty easy to rip off of you, considering it's already dissolving into tatters.
And then
redneck.
Take it off. Yeah, I'm not singing it. I'm not singing it.
You almost made me spit out my water, damn it.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
I will move there.
Okay.
Actually, I'm going to move to here.
All right.
And I'm going to swing at the skeleton.
Okay. You hit, and you are, I'm assuming, slashing with your dagger?
Yes.
All right. The skelly goes down.
Nice.
So you kind of do this thing where you maybe even kind of roll into it and then just do a cross slash across its legs. And the bones are very dry and brittle, and you just, like, you don't expect it to do as much, but just, it's like cutting down, like cutting down trees. And as the rest of the weight of its body falls, it just collapses into a heap of bones. Okay, y'all are. Who should I? Okay. Gnarlfur is going to move up to you, and I think is going to attempt to try and heal you. Let's see if third time's the charm.
Make the attempt. Make the attempt.
I think I'm gonna cast it up, maybe a power level 1 though. Oh! Tries casting the spell and growls in frustration as for whatever reason it just doesn't seem to work.
You have failed me for the last time, Emperor.
Who is Boo?
Although, actually, wait, Gnarlfur has that.
No.
What with that?
Toasty toesies.
Toasty toasty. So I'm gonna use that reroll that someone gave Gnarlfur and try again.
Oh, heck yeah.
Because I feel that would be a good way to use it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was Krisana, go ahead and heal 8.
Nice.
Gnarlfur does not have a whole lot of willpower left. All right. That is Gnarlfur's turn. Skeletal archers. So here's what's gonna happen there. 2, 4, 6, 8. I think is that one's gonna attack Krisana. This one needs to move down. 2, 4, 6, 8. Oops. That one. Or sorry. Okay, so yeah, one's gonna attack Krisana, one's gonna attack Gnarlfur. On those on the upper side there, and then on the lower side, that one's actually going to try to shoot Makander. That one's going to move up there, and I think that one. So I think you're all going to get.
Try that once.
1, 2, 3. There's only 4 of them left, right? I did that right? Okay, yeah. So you're each going to get an attack, basically. Why not?
Well, didn't that one have to pick up his crossbow after he dropped it last time?
Ooh.
Oh yeah, that was okay. So let me.
Good remembering there.
Oh, I almost forgot.
That's good because I fucking don't remember anything. It's been a long day for me.
Okay, so that one draws a dagger and starts charging towards Bastion. So I'm gonna say then that Bastion will have the dagger, which I suppose they could try chucking the dagger, but actually no, they're not that smart. So it's going to charge you with the dagger, and so it double moves to get to where that is. So that one is not going to do anything else.
All right.
So then there's going to be attack on Makander, Krisana, and Bastion.
Okay. And one skeleton archer has become a skeleton knifer.
A skeleton shanker, as it were. Shank.
Skeleton dagger.
All right.
Or...
So shooting at Makander. Will hit unless you have a defensive ability to try and block it.
Yeah, might as well use defensive again.
Okay. So go ahead and roll your block. You block it, so you do not take damage. So then the attack on Krisana will hit unless you have an ability to try and evade.
I think I will. I don't know if I have enough points.
Most heroic abilities are usually 3 points.
Yeah. But
I'm
using them all to evade. I'm not getting anything else in.
So, if you would like, Here is an
Oh, I haven't
option,
gone
just
yet. I
throwing
haven't
it out
gone
there.
yet. Right? Oh, this
No,
is
you
the
went
end.
at
This is
6,
I
they're
have
at
gone.
10.
Yeah, that's right. Never mind.
Yeah, everybody's gone.
The archers are the last.
Yeah,
But
so
I
I've
will. Oh, okay. So then that is gonna. Okay, so I think then yeah, that's gonna. If you don't have enough willpower, then it will.
I mean, I do, but I just don't want to use it. I want to be
Okay,
able to
then you will-
do more other stuff.
Then you will get hit for the 5 damage. And then the last attack on Gnarlfur misses with a nat 20.
Nice.
Ooh,
All
another
right.
crit fail.
We'll take it.
Drop his crossbow too.
Maybe I should have evaded
Bastion, Bastion, are you well?
Oh, yes, I am
Okay.
keeping my.
All right. So the 1 is away.
Good.
So
God, that's such a good ability.
I mean, it is pretty clutch.
So clutch.
So then we do that and that. All right. So Bastion, you're up with Nicander on deck.
All right. Well, I know I can reach this one with my move, and I'll pull my scimitar back out on the way. I'm gonna try
It does
slash,
this
slash.
with its open hand, and then the hand falls off at the wrist. Because really, why not? Hey, you hit.
Oh yeah.
And you.
That's a good chunk of damage.
Yeah, you
Oh, yeah.
you shatter it into pieces. Not even a question. Is there anything? Was that all your movement, or I guess I don't know what your.
Oh, where was I? I think I started here. I do have a
I don't know
little
if you
bit.
wanted to move further or not, but it's up to you. But you do have the option.
So if I have 2 squares of movement, I probably couldn't go around the corner this way. That'd probably be,
I would say probably not.
yeah. So I can't really duck behind anything effectively.
If they were rounded pillars, I'd allow it, but they're pretty straightforward, big basalt.
Sure. All right. I will, I think, then pop up to this corner. The rest of my.
All right. Alrighty, then Nicander, it's your turn.
Okay. So first, Nicander, he started singing last game. He kind of likes how music makes him feel in combat.
Yeah.
So he is going to begin singing again.
Quack, 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 quack.
There once was a cat with a hungry belly. The name of the cat was Whiskers Jelly. His throat was dry and his paw was bare. Meow, me fairy cats meow. Soon may the kittyman come with birds and mice and some tasty nums. One day when the critters come, we'll eat till our bellies are full. Well, Jelly got his boys and they gathered round. They scattered seeds from a sack they found. In hopes the seeds they spread on the ground would bring small critters a boot. Soon may the kittyman come with birds and mice and some tasty nums. One day when the critters come, we'll eat till our bellies are full. While the gang was bored and morale had dipped, till one of the seeds grew green catnip. They sniffed and they stacked and they all got ripped. They all had a meow that night. Soon may the kittyman come.
It's way longer than I thought it was.
Yeah, this is like the full song.
Oh my god, it's still...
was strong and they all got high. Their bellies were shrunk and their
Well
bones still
worth the
dry.
cost.
Oh, bring us some ice
Right?
today.
I just double moved.
Soon may the
Okay.
gaming come with birds and mice and some tasty numbs. One day when the critters come, we'll till our bellies are full.
Oh, that's not too expensive. That's not too cheap.
Gnarlfur is because Kursana, you are looking pretty savage, yes?
Yes, I am. So I was looking at the points to make sure I didn't have it for like 10 bits or something like that. But it's at a good rate. I leave it.
I think I have enough left. Yes. I'm gonna try to cast another heal on you at a level 2. Oh no!
Mishap!
Oh, no! Yeah, so when you roll a demon roll, a nat 20, horrible things happen. In melee, it
Does
could
he still
be
have his
like losing-
reroll?
No, I used it on you last time.
Yep.
So Gnarlfur tries to cast a spell on you, but the weird thing is, Kursana, because you're kind of focused a little bit on the fact that you're breathing heavy, you're bleeding a bit, and there's like still a skeleton down there. But then all of a sudden you feel the shadow kind of over you, and you look up and you see Gnarlfur is kind of doing one of these things, and just you hear him growling and swearing under his breath as you see his eyes have turned milky white.
Ooh. Damn.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yep. So that is the thing that happened. Now it is skeletal archers. I think let's see. So the one up top is definitely going to shoot at Bastion. The one in the middle is going to shoot at McCander because you're closest. And this one is going to go like so.
Chat has redeemed a dice reroll.
So, what?
Which is the one that rolled the nat 20 last time?
The one that you destroyed.
Gnarlfur will get
another one
a
rolled a nat
reroll
20.
later.
Oh,
FYI.
did another one roll a nat 20?
I thought you said it did, but maybe I'm wrong.
I don't remember. I'm
never
gonna
mind.
wave my magic wand at the moment.
It's all good.
But since we're already ahead, so I'll keep Gnarlfur's reroll for later. We'll deal with the rest of that later. So the skeletons are going to attack, I think, 2 on McCander because you're closest, than 1 on Bastion. So, starting with Mr. Baston. Will potentially hit unless you've got an ability to evade.
I got nothing.
10 damage.
Ooh.
Wow.
Holy crap. That's not good.
And then
Still up.
and then I said 2 on McCander, right?
Yep.
First one. Ooh, hit.
Since I didn't say it before, I'll let that hit, and then I'm going to do the defensive for the next one.
Okay. So that'll be 5 damage.
Okay.
The next one misses.
Nice.
And then we have Persona.
Where did you guys? Oh, you guys are. All right, so I think I'm going to go right there.
Okay.
And I don't really. What other weapons did these guys have? Actually, before I do that, the skeletons, not the big scary guy with the corrupted weapon.
So the archers have light crossbows and they have daggers. And they're old and they're maybe a little rusty, but they're still functional. They're not as kind of ad hoc and crappily built as like the
better
goblin
idea. They're skeletons, right?
They are.
I pick up a femur.
Okay.
And I chuck it at this one down here.
All right. For that, I'm going to say that is going to be a staves roll, which is based off of agility.
No. I just got to get the balance down.
You chuck it, but again, it's so lightweight because these are old, brittle, dry bones that you kind of you don't quite get the balance right, and it goes off and just shatters.
I got to just master the balance. I just got to master the balance.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just seeing if. Yeah. Okay. Is that all you were doing?
Yeah, and then I'll move, but then I'll still move like back here.
Alrighty. So it is going to be top of the new round. Bastion, are you keeping your one?
I am absolutely keeping my one.
All right. So then we got. Okay, so Andrew drew good. Gnarlfur, not so much, but that's kind of makes sense because they're blind. Skeletal actors, that's all great. Persona at a 6, and that is that. All right, top of the round is Bastion with McAnder on deck.
Right. All right. So I am going to move up to this archer here.
Okay.
And we are going to hit him with a scimitar.
Bonk.
Bong. For 11 damage.
Did it go? Sorry, my roll 20 is being leggy all of a sudden.
Yeah, I didn't see you move either. Oh, no.
There we go. Okay, 11. Okay, yeah, that one goes down.
Beautiful. And then I guess I will move one square that way because I've got one move left.
I will say, because you're right there next to that kind of pit where the flames are coming from, one thing you do happen to notice, Bastion, is that with the demon dead, the flames are actually starting to, with that corruption no longer present, the flames are starting to turn from that pale, sickly green to like your standard kind of orangish, healthy flame. And you notice it kind of, it almost looks like from that central dais where that big, large circular area of flame is, that it's slowly been kind of creeping out, that the flame is becoming, for lack of a better term, healthy again, kind of purging the corruption that the demon was inputting.
Gotcha.
For lack of a better term.
Then I will
But
also,
since you're right there, you notice it. It's
yeah. I will also then shout out to my companions. I think we fixed the flame.
Does that mean we can leave?
McAnder is next with Persona on deck.
McAnder is going to move 3 to that skeleton archer. It's going to take a swing for 11 damage. Oh, no.
But you gotta hit.
But I missed.
Push it. Push it.
Do you want to push the roll and try again? You are already angry, but
yeah. I'll become disheartened as well because I missed.
Okay.
Oh, God.
It would have been awesome had I hit. That was a shit ton of damage, but
I mean, you're angry and disheartened. It kind of makes sense in some ways.
Now I'm frustrated.
Oh.
Are you doing anything else?
Just move one more there.
Okay, Chrisana, you're next.
All right.
Me.
Sneak attack that one.
I move there. And I will dagger in the face.
Okay. Are you using sneak attack or you just attack?
I will use sneak attack.
Do you have the improved version of sneak attack?
There's an improved version?
Yeah, I think it's called like assassinate or something.
Not improved, but there's another thing called assassinate where you could basically do more damage by using them both.
I do not.
So go and attack with your boon.
Oh.
With a boon, so you get to reroll that.
Oh, that's right.
I'm going to use my reroll.
Oh. If you have a reroll, you sure can use it.
Yep.
Crit!
Oh,
Schneige.
Good reroll. Good reroll.
Huge.
I'm just gonna feel free to roll all the extra damage because you earned it. But there's no way in hell it's surviving that. So I'm just gonna throw the X there.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same as last time.
Yeah, exactly the same as last time.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Skeletal archers are going the one that is left. I think was originally shooting at McCander, but Bastion is now closer. Yeah, I think he's going to shoot at Bastion.
Red Knight Jedi. Wasted.
Right?
I think we actually have a wasted pop-up thing, don't we?
Yep.
Oh, and the skeleton misses.
Oh, thank God.
It is Gnarlsfur turn, and Chrisana, you hear Gnarlsfur kind of yell out, "Damn it, girl, I was trying to heal you!" And then, you see Gnarlsfur is basically, reaching around trying to figure out where you went. Wasted. But otherwise, can't do really much of anything because it's blind.
And thank you, Booms, by the way. Boom said Booms is liking the dungeon images that we have, all the unique dungeon images, because it only has one. There's only one dungeon image. I have to create and upload the rest of them. So all of these are ones that I put on there.
Nice.
Nice.
I'm gonna try something. Okay, so the blindness I could try to dispel. Yeah, what the hell? I'm going to try to dispel at level 1. I'm going to say I have to cast it with a Bane, though, because I'm blind. Yeah, so it doesn't go off. Okay. It was worth a shot. Okay, Gnarlsfur's done, so now we draw Nish. Or, you know what? There's one skeleton left, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And Bastion's going to go first.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm going to do. At this point, I think you guys will be able to defeat the last skeleton.
Yeah.
Actually, do this for me. Bastion, make your attack roll
Okay.
If you miss, then we'll have to worry about drawing initiative for everything else.
Okay.
If you hit, I'm pretty sure. Oh, you did miss. All right, then
Come
I
on.
guess
I'm a push it.
Push it.
You're
Push
gonna
it
push
real
it?
good.
I'm gonna push it.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Oh,
That not enough
that has
damage to kill it.
It has 1 hit point left. Yeah.
Of course it does.
Because of course.
All right. Well, there's my willpower for that.
So.
And I'm gonna say I'm
Makander.
disheartened because it's like, seriously, last skeleton still up.
Chat has redeemed a dice reroll.
Reroll damage.
I'll allow it if you want to reroll damage and give it a shot.
I will give that a shot because
So
that was.
it looks like the scimitar would be, with your strength bonus, would be 3d6 total. So if you just want to roll 3d6.
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
Still
super
exact same amount.
Yep. So believe it or not, okay, so I'm just gonna move you up to it
Yeah, step away for a hot second. Be right back.
because you would have had to move up to attack it. I'm assuming with your scimitar.
Yep, would have been the scimitar.
Okay. It is gonna attack you with the dagger then, because you're
I'm right there.
you're right there. Misses.
Oh, thank God.
Barely misses, but misses. Makander,
Ooh.
you're next.
I double move, and that's as far as I get.
Okay, then it is Kristana.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah, no worries.
Here we go. All right.
God, you're not. Oh, well, it only needs to take 1 damage from something.
I go to there and I throw a dagger. I throw my 1 dagger at it.
Okay.
Come on, you can do it. 1 damage.
Oh, more than 1 damage.
Nice.
All right, and with that, combat is over.
So the dagger passes through its ribs and stabs our ally.
Well, so with a thrown dagger, I'm assuming it would mostly do piercing. But even with having the damage for piercing and all that, you do plenty. So you probably just chuck the dagger through its skull, and the skull just shattered, and then the rest of it collapsed. With that, you have in fact completed the task, and in fact the little last bit of greenish light burns away literally and figuratively as you see the beautiful orange welcoming warm flames have passed through the temple to where all the different pits and areas are, and you have succeeded in getting rid of the corruption of this of this temple.
Nice.
Now I'm gonna, unless you have anything you want to do at the end here, I'm just gonna kind of sum up a few things real quick, and then we can kind of move
summit
on.
I mean, we take the demon's weapon, but yeah, summit.
Well,
just not with your bare hands.
Well,
yeah,
Gnarlfur offers you the option. Gnarlfur does have some knowledge about. There are ways to make sort of like sanctified weapons, for lack of a better term, that are or sanctified armors that are helpful against demons or whatnot, or give you benefits versus fighting demons. If you are interested in waiting out a little bit of time, and using some safety precaution maneuvers like grabbing the sword with some tongs and stuff so you're like not touching it, Gnarlfur can begin that process.
Cool.
The question to you would be, would you...
It's a good thing he's got a reroll too.
Yes, indeed. So if you're interested, Gnarlfur would ask that, his blindness is only going to be temporary. That's usually the costs of magic or whatever. But if you'd be willing to sort of stay here at the temple, help him kind of clean up the place, and he will work on enchanting, breaking down that demon sword and purifying it in the flames of Serenfe to create a much better weapon, or potentially, in your case, McCander could make a weapon if you want. Potentially could maybe do something as like a shield, maybe?
A shield would be cool.
Probably not enough to do like your plate mail. Like, unfortunately, that's, or whatever I think you have plate mail, right?
Yeah.
At least you have armor.
So it won't.
Yeah, I think just doing a shield would be cool.
Okay. Bastion, did you want a weapon made, or did you want to also maybe do like a shield of some kind?
You know what? I think I might go with a weapon.
Okay. So time is taken. You'll fully recover. What I'm going to do is, we're not going to necessarily draw any treasure cards, just because of this, because the crafting of the item is going to kind of be your.
It's already got loot.
I will say though, in terms of the equipment that's in the room, as far as the archers, technically they had leathers, but they're pretty tattered. However, their crossbows and daggers just need to be dusted off and cleaned up and oiled, and they'll probably be fine. I would say the same for the heavy shield and the longsword of the skeletal champion.
I would love a crossbow.
Okay. I would say the chainmail of the skeletal champion probably got chopped up pretty bad. I would say that's probably not. I'm just going to say it's also in disrepair enough that it's not going to. You chop the hell out of it. But so basically you're able to retrieve weapons if you want to and get them cleaned up.
I will also take a crossbow.
Okay. So they're light. They're the light crossbows.
So one-handed?
Nope, they are two-handed. A hand crossbow would be like one-handed.
All right, I'm just filling in the thing. Strength, range, damage.
Yep.
Have to go. Have to look those up. I don't know.
Yeah, well, we can look them up later. One other thing. One other thing I'm going to do, because this is kind of the completion of this, and you face down a demon, something that has only been like the boogeyman in folklore. You have seen that it exists. That they do indeed exist, and they are horrific. You learn and realize that this temple, the reason why it was built here, because it was actually built here, truthfully, before the founding of Whitecroft, the town of Whitecroft. And the reason for that is that there are some areas in the world that are sites of power, for lack of a better term. And if that site is dedicated to a thing, it can be kind of harnessed and controlled. And so the Temple of Serenfe, who's imagery and demagoguery, or whatever you want to call it, is focused around flame and the purifying and healing aspects of flame, and the righteous zest of smiting enemies with flame. Kind of harness that, and so the flame that you are seeing in the temple is sort of tapping into that font of power, magical power that suffices certain areas. And in fact, it's because of that Gnarlfur is even able to kind of break down that demon blade and purify it and create weapons and shield. So for Krisanna, I'm assuming you maybe want a dagger?
Sure.
Or a knife, maybe? The blade that you're given and the stats of the blade as far as the special effects, it's going to be a masterwork weapon, meaning that the durability goes up by 3, the strength requirement to wield drops by, I think, 3. So it's made of hardier, sturdier stuff. And sorry, I was just realizing I have something here that I can use for this. So this weapon, you can spend 3 willpower when you attack a demon to do an extra 2d8 damage to a demon specifically.
Nice.
It will also, it has a slight attunement for detecting demons a little bit, so it'll actually kind of slightly vibrate in your hand when a demon is within.
Okay.
I would say maybe within a mile, and then you can kind of divine if you point it in the whatever direction, like if the vibration will get stronger when it's kind of gets closer to the demon, so you can kind of use it as sort of a what's the term I'm thinking of? I'm brain farting tonight.
Me too.
You know how the diviner, you can kind of use it to divine the direction of the. So.
Okay.
The basic setup bastion will be the same for whatever weapon you want to have Gnarlfur create. What would you like that to be? Do you want that to be a spear or a scimitar or some other weapon?
I was going to say, let's just go with a long spear.
Okay.
That seems to be his bread and butter.
So same setup, the long spear, enchanted the same way, works the same way, same bonuses. Matt, because you are doing a shield instead, here's what I'm going to have happen. Do you want a light shield or a heavy shield?
I don't really know what the difference is between having more durability.
It has, so you need a higher strength to wield a large shield. Typically, but it does have a higher durability value.
Yeah, I have a 16 strength, so if I can do a large shield, might as well.
Okay. So then, it is considered masterwork, so it will, the strength requirement drops by 3, the durability goes up by 3. And then, because it actually, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say it is going to negate the corrosive blood ability of demons.
Ooh.
And I will say you can spend like a willpower to get a boon on blocking an attack from a demon. Specifically.
Oh, that's awesome.
Last but not least, you have fought a demon, as I was mentioning, a creature, the boogeyman of horror stories, that you've now seen made manifest. And truthfully, had this thing gotten the drop on you, it could have very easily been a very different story. But in this particular case, you succeeded, and because of that, you've all kind of steeled your resolve a little bit. You all get a heroic ability called Fearless.
Ooh.
And if I gave you the PDF of the book, so when you get a chance, it's on page 37. But it allows you to basically, whenever there's a fear roll needed to be made, you can burn 2 willpower to automatically succeed without having to roll your willpower.
Wow.
And then last but not least, you have 5 points that you can put in your skills, and then you can level them up like we do at the end of an adventure.
Okay. That's just checking the red boxes, right, that we want?
Yep, you check the boxes. You have 5 choices plus whatever you already got a thing for.
If I wanted to learn something new, like, is there like a bard or something that deals with music?
Performance?
Performance?
Well, performance is the skill to do basic performances.
Mm-hmm.
There are heroic abilities that are bard-like that allow you to buff other people with song or performances.
Well, I will just try to raise performance then, and eventually maybe get some bardy goodness.
There you go.
Okay. I picked my 5. Are we actually leveling up now?
Yep. We're going to go ahead and level up now.
Awesome.
Let's see what we got here.
Okay. What do we hit again to level? Oh, just the skill button.
Yeah, and you have to roll up. You have to roll above the skill, which looks like your bartering went up, your bushcraft went up, your healing went up, your persuasion went up, your crossbows went up. Sadly, not your knives. Your awareness went up, your healing went up, your hunting, fishing, myths and legends, spears, dear lord.
Yeah.
Advanced healing, yeah, okay.
We are going up.
Not myths and legends, not performance, unfortunately, not this time anyway.
Did the demon weapons did they do extra damage, or they just standard damage as well? They're just extra durability and then their special ability?
And then their special ability.
Okay.
Yep.
Can somebody look up the information of what a crossbow is?
Yeah.
And was it 2 extra durability?
3 extra.
3 extra durability, and it drops the strength by or the strength requirement by 3.
Light crossbow has a 40 range, requires a strength of 7, does 2d6 damage, and has 6 durability.
And you do not add your agility bonus to damage to it. That's the trade-off, apparently, for
So
crossbows.
don't check the damage bonus then.
Correct.
Okay. Awesome. Oh, I have a hand crossbow too. I have a hand crossbow in my inventory. Never mind. I would have taken that crossbow. I have a hand crossbow. I just never added it to my stuff.
That's all right.
You want to give me the information for the hand crossbow? That's one-handed.
That is one-handed.
Yeah, give me a second.
So what we're going to do now, I think, is let's go ahead and take a brief bio break.
Okay.
And then since we have a little bit of time, what I would like to do is kind of a final showcase, if you're willing. So first off, everybody who followed the adventure, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got a little taste of Dragon Bane.
And if you missed episodes, you can go back and catch them all on YouTube.
Absolutely. What I would like to do is maybe, if we can kind of if you guys are willing, maybe have you make some characters just so you see how character creation works, because it's pretty straightforward, and then we can kind of showcase a little bit of that, and then just kind of get your review of the game and what you feel. Maybe, you know, since we're kind of doing these as sort of one-shots or short arcs to kind of showcase newer systems.
Yeah.
So then I guess we'll do a little bio break and
okay. Sounds good, guys.
in,
We will be right back. I'm going to run an ad. While that ad is going, please stick around to see kind of how character creation works and all the stuff that Bryan just mentioned. You can still do the Tangia dungeon while we are on the break. So go ahead. There's one right now. You can go ahead, !join to join that, and we will see you guys in just a few minutes. We'll be right back. Was it difficult when you were switching? Because we're talking about different games. When you guys switched from first edition Pathfinder to second edition Pathfinder, was that a difficult shift? Was that hard? How did that happen?
Oh, well, for me, and I suggest I would think most of the members of the design team, the switch was gradual.
Okay.
Unlike everyone else, where it was kind of like a switch. It was like one day you were playing first, the next day you were playing second. For us, it was this slow evolution because, you know, the first thing we did when designing second edition was put together just kind of a proof of concept test. And what that was just kind of playing around with some of the core identity and what we knew we wanted to change about the game. But if we didn't have any strong opinions on it, we just left it the way it was.
It's a real kick, right? You know, to be able to say, you know, I get to put words in Spider-Man's mouth or Wolverine's mouth or whatever. It's neat. But on the other hand, you also feel the pressure because you're like, oh man, I don't want to, you know, this is something that matters to me personally.
Yeah.
I also know there are a lot of fans out there. So if I screw this up, I'm going to hear from it. So, and, you know, rightfully so, I'm not going to argue with that. But it's tricky, you know, like some of the stuff I've done. I did a Marvel Heroes Battle Dice game for Playmates Toys that came out like, geez, almost 20 years ago now, I guess. Wow. Maybe 18 years ago. And that actually had television commercials and it was in Walmart and Toys R Us and Target and all that stuff. And I've worked on a couple different Marvel MMOs, just doing, you know, barks and dialogue bits.
Yeah, so I got to write Lady Castle
for
Boom, and then I got other really cool offers within Boom. I got to write some Adventure Time, a Labyrinth story. I got to write Sparrowhawk for them. And then I got an email from IDW, from a great editor named Denton Tipton, who was in charge of Star Wars Adventures at the time. I was the only person who had read The Last Jedi script because I had to read it to write Phasma. And he was like, hey, as one of the only female comic writers on the entire world who knows who Rose Tico is, could you write us a comic? And I was like, yes, I could. Thank you.
Nice.
So that was my aim with IDW, was that I was the only female comic writer who had ever read the script, and no one else was allowed to read it. So I got to write those comics, which led to more Star Wars adventures. So I got to write Rose and Paige Tico. I got to write a Leia and Amilyn Haldo story. I got to write a Padme and Jar Jar story. I got to write a David Attenborough-esque take on Porgs. And then that led me to Marvel Action Spider-Man and all the work that I've gotten to do for IDW.
So I wrote Master Formalities, and then I submitted it to my publisher, 47 North, and thankfully they liked it and they published it. And then I wrote I think I wrote The Authorities, but 47 North is a science fiction, and there's very little, extremely tiny bits of science fiction in it. It's just, you know, actually the little things I had in it that were science fiction, like they were so light that they actually became, you know, reality within like 2 years.
Okay.
Like before the book was published, drones were better than I had them in that book.
Right.
But anyway, so I self-published The Authorities, and then I wrote Run Program, and they published that, and I was very happy about that. But you know, I've sort of done a mix of self-published and published through either 47 North or through Audible.
Okay.
Crocodile Tears. And the first two follow one character and then a spin-off character who was going me. I run that's the novella, Crocodile Tears. But yeah, a lot of fun. One of the main characters, the one who is the primary character in the novella, is his name is Ting. And if you've spent any time in the Caribbean, you know the accent they
Oh, yeah.
So, Ting, what's that about? It's because my mother always said I was the prettiest little Ting. And the thing is, he's a Rastafarian troll shaman. So he's 10 feet tall, 5 feet wide, belly out to here, dreads down to here, and his name is Ting because he's a pretty little Ting. You know, so it's a joke within a joke.
Any of them.
Yeah, you know, in Trary, I really thought Road of the Patriarch was in Trary's swan song because
Yeah.
I thought that was the perfect redemption for him. I mean,
Yeah.
who else but Adamus and Trary could redeem himself by telling a priest, rebuild your temple, but if you do the same thing instead of what you pretend you're supposed to be about, I'm going to come back here and burn it down again, and this time you're going to be in it. And that's redemption for Adamus and Trary. But after I wrote that, I got so many letters from people saying, you really can't end it here with him because I had this in my childhood. And they got very personal and opened up to me. And they said, I need to see him surviving and redeemed and happy. I need to see Adamus and Trary looking in a mirror where he doesn't hate what he sees.
Yeah.
And so I kept him around, and I was glad I did because I just adore the character. And Jarl Axel's Jarl Axel. He's not going there.
Yeah, right. I mean,
I could. Thank you.
nice.
So that was my aim with IDW, was that I was the only female comic writer who had ever read the script, and no one else was allowed to read it. So I got to write those comics, which led to more Star Wars adventures. So I got to write Rose and Paige Tico. I got to write a Leia and Amelin Haldo story. I got to write a Padme and Jar Jar story. I got to write a David Attenborough-esque take on Porgs. And then that led me to Marvel Action Spider-Man and all the work that I've gotten to do for IDW. So it was one of those. I've run the Pell RPG twice for World Builders at Emerald City Comic Con.
Okay.
At their kind of big party where you contribute to charity and you get to come in and play games. And if you're at my table, you usually get free cake because my friend Adam Mercunius always brings us some nice gluten-free cake. But yeah, this is my spellbinder that contains the Pell RPG that I have written. But it's different than other RPG games because instead of like heavily dice rolling and math, it's all about, well, the gods of Pelinus is the Pell god. It's a two-headed god like Janus, which is me and Kevin.
Right.
And they just want to be entertained. They don't really care if you're good or bad. They want to be entertained. So it's like, it's not necessarily that you roll the dice. It's that you close your eyes and you stab this with your pencil. And then the gods interpret whatever you land on. Oh no's or the skull usually doesn't go well.
The thing I'm still best known for, it was called Night Train, and it was about basically a drain full of vampires, and that one just captured everyone's imagination. And from there I went to reading over one of the first source books they released, and then I ended up writing the second one, Hucksters and Hexes, and maybe the third, Fire and Brimstone, and then on from there. So it was something I had thought about getting into.
And those are some core books for that system. Like when you wanted to play the game, other than the main book, those books, those two that you just mentioned right now, those were huge content pieces for people that wanted to play certain roles.
Putting it in a grave and then putting it in the ground, you think, oh, okay, everything will be safe. No. The grave breaks down. Water gets in there. It freezes. When they open up a grave, even 10, 20 years down the line, maybe even 30, moisture gets in there. You essentially become bone soup.
I knew it. I knew that's where you were going.
Bone soup. Isn't that disgusting?
Let me get my spoon.
We've got a great Driz book coming out that Bob put together, that it basically takes all those journal entries that Drizzt has at the beginning of the parts of the books.
Yeah.
And he's put them all together as the Tao of Drizzt.
And they're in chronological order, correct?
They're in chronological order, and that's coming out soon. And I think it's wonderful. I mean, I was really moved by it, and you know, again, I love when I get the chance to. What I'm doing is communicating something that's of value.
Yeah.
Whether either it's totally entertaining, which is fine, but also something that really has a message that's valuable, that is going to help people in their lives. And I feel that with Drizzt. I mean, I feel, you know, my theory is all great stories are about moral ambiguity. And that's what he faces is, you know, how do I be a good person and, you know, in an imperfect world?
I think for Eberron, you know, one of the things that we were aiming for was the experience would be a little different. Eberron had a strong sense of like, we're going to echo pulp novels. And so Eberron was actually, we started I remember pitching, we're going to do.
Somebody found a puppy dog to snuggle. That's what it said.
Aww.
And somebody killed a murder hobo. Somebody drank all the rum and got lost.
That was me.
Somebody killed the slayed a hidden chatbot. Slayed a hidden chatbot. All right.
Welcome back, everybody.
Rare Tunic of the Musician. Uncommon. Uncommon. Earned a free troll voucher. Who let Pixel in that dungeon, right? That's who that was there for, was for Pixel. FYI, you guys will get, sometimes it'll say free interactions. You'll get a voucher from the game that you can use in the panel to redeem certain items, and you can just click on free interactions. It'll show you the items you can get for free with your vouchers. If you earn any free vouchers.
That's how I played the kitty song.
Oh, was it? Was with a free voucher? Nice.
Excellent, excellent. So yeah,
It's time to play the game. Time to play the
game.
One of those possible free redemptions.
I dig it.
If you're a wrestling fan, you know. If you're not, you don't. Or here's one of my. I love this one. The Daffy Duck one. Oh, I can't use it on my own channel.
Wow.
So I have free vouchers, but I can't even use them.
Oh.
But I can go in and I can activate it from the as the moderator. So here's the Daffy Duck one that I like. You have to watch it though on the
Now,
thing.
look, Buster, let's have an understanding. Now what? Brother, what a way to run a railroad. Now, as I was saying...
That's awesome.
So that's Daffy Duck saves the stream.
That's awesome.
That's one of my favorite. I love that one.
Alrighty. Well, tell you what. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm trying to upload a character sheet to throw on the screen just so those watching can kind of see what we're looking at. But for right now, I think what we'll
Seven-Tail
do
Fox
is we'll...
asked me, what's the point of having free vouchers if you can't use them? Free vouchers. The ultimate carrot on a stick in the consumerist dystopia we call modern life. They're like a promise wrapped in red tape and bureaucracy. It's amazing how businesses dangle free in front of you, only to smack you with conditions so convoluted you'd need a lawyer and a divining rod to actually use them. It's just another way to keep you engaged in the endless cycle of spending. It's about making you feel like you're getting something while you're actually getting nothing. Classic corporate bait and switch.
Thank you, George Carlin. Thank you very much for that.
I figured that'd be a good question for George Carlin.
Right?
That was pretty good. That was pretty darn good. Okay, so I'll get the character sheet posted as soon as it's done loading up, but apparently if I'm doing multiple things, Roll20 can be slow.
I mean, do I have access to a blank one?
If you don't, well, let's see. Go into your journal real quick there, Nick, and see if it gives you the option to make a character. Because I see that Matt has already, I believe, created the you know how you can create a starting character and it gives you a funky name and then it basically starts from scratch.
Yeah,
so
I
it
don't
looks
know.
like
I don't see anything in
Matt's-
my...
Okay, then give me just a moment and I will
So when you're Nick, when you're in the journal, is there something that says plus character right underneath the journal button?
I have a journal button.
So click journal.
Yep, and it brings
And
me to all the
underneath that,
things.
does it say plus character?
No, I just have like handouts and handouts and handouts
Oh,
and
weird.
characters.
Okay, then give me just a moment and I will get you.
So maybe it's just not clicked on for me. Hello, Blue
Yeah.
Devils
Well-
Gamer, welcome on in. And for
So
those that
what I'm
popped in
gonna
during
do
the
is-
break, welcome in as well. I see Octavius coming in and lurking Durkin. Bentley was lurking a little earlier. Thank you.
So Nick, I just made you a character.
Is that Otopeg?
You can rename it whatever you want. That's just the roll
But
20
that's the one.
generic.
Because I can pull that up and go through character creation on.
Yep. So now you can go through. Yeah, exactly. And then I'm gonna make one for you, real quick here, Schmoopsy. Just take a second.
Doop-a-doop-a-doop.
And then Matt, you can use the one that you popped up. All right. So when you first, so if you want, Nick, I guess maybe you can zoom in on your
Yep, that's
character
what I'm
creation
doing.
screen because admittedly the character sheet you're looking at is pretty much still the same one. It's just we're typing it in.
Well, I'm not
as
even looking at a
opposed to-
character sheet. I've got optional rules and sheet behavior.
Yes. So where that starts now, this is for those that are joining us here. This is just some Roll20 settings.
Hey,
They're not
Killian Music, welcome
necessarily-
in. Killian Music is awesome, guys. Go check him out.
They're not. They're part of the Roll20 settings, not necessarily part of the game.
Gotcha.
Ultimately, you just want to make sure that Magical Mishaps has a little dot on it that allows pushing, has a little dot on it. And then in the upper right corner, that the sheet type is PC/NPC. And then you'll hit the little circle with the person icon in the upper right corner.
Whisper rolls never, sheet type, PC, NPC. No
Yeah,
bonus,
no-
anything. Have lightning fast.
Nope, don't worry about that.
Allow
for now.
pushing and use magical mishaps.
Yes.
Okay.
So then when you do that, you'll click that little person in the upper right corner, and then it'll pull you up to the character sheet that you guys have seen
Right.
before.
Excellent.
And now we are using, just for this character creation concept, we are going to just use the main book. I will say this much. The one of the cool things I guess I've seen is so far there's not a whole ton of official content books. There's the main book / box set, because you can buy it as a hardcover book where it doesn't have everything that the box set does, but it has all the book stuff in there.
Okay.
And then they got like the bestiary book and the box set. Those are the three main things that have been made by Free League Publishing so far. But what's really cool is that the owners of this game have their equivalent of like an open game license. And there is a ton of stuff out there. Most of it really well done from what I've looked through so far and experienced myself. And all of the third-party stuff is usually relatively cheap in terms of cost for value. Like it's
okay.
You know, they're usually, most of them are like under $5-10, like US. So I mean, it's a pretty decent deal.
Yeah.
That being said, what we're going to do first is we are going to roll our 6 stats. And they've got a couple of different options of how you want to do it. You know, you can roll them in order, and you can only switch one pair around if you want to be really draconian. I'm not going to worry about that too much. But I would say you can either kind of using what we've seen for like D&D methods, you can roll like 4d6, take out the lowest, roll 6 times, and then assign them to your 6 stats: your strength, con, agility, intelligence, willpower, and charisma.
So we're doing that now?
You are going to go ahead and do that now. So, and you don't, I mean, if you want to roll your rolls on Roll20, you can, but I don't really care if you do it, or this is just to kind of show the people who are.
Sorry, what were the rolls
playing.
one more time?
4d6.
So roll like 3d or 4d6, take out the lowest.
We do that
and
for
then
each
assign
one?
them. You're going to do that for the 6 stats: the strength, con, agility, int, will, and charisma.
Ooh, that was a Nick roll.
Wow. That was not a Nick roll.
That was a phenomenal follow-up to a 5.
Holy shnikey burgers. Yeah,
Oh.
that's awesome.
Wow, that's huge, yeah.
All right. I think I got pretty good stats. I mean, D&D wise, they're pretty good.
And I would say they're more or less comparative, like in terms of if you know how beefy something is. So an 18, you know, a 10 would be
I
kind of
got
your
2
average.
15s, a 14, an 18, a 17, and an 11.
Nice.
No Nick rolls here.
I did not do nearly so well.
Yeah, what did you get for your rolls?
I got a 13, a 13, a 12, a 10, a 10, and a 6.
Okay.
And I ended up with an 11, 14, 14, 5, 13, 16.
Oof. All right. So
I'm rearranging where I'm putting them, but
And if you want, and if you don't know yet what you want to do as far as like a class or whatever your starting profession, I would say you can wait to assign those if you want to. But being that you guys have played other role-playing games of a similar fashion for some time, and for those that have our viewers that have played, you know, D&D, things of that nature, um, pretty similar in terms of what your abilities kind of do. In terms of, like, if you're a warrior, you probably want a decent constitution and strength, or maybe agility if you're more ranged. Spellcasters usually want a decent like willpower and intelligence. Charming people want to have a high charisma.
Is willpower more than spells?
So willpower is where you get your willpower points from.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. Good.
So I mean, willpower is good for everybody, but spellcasters in general, they use willpower to cast spells,
Yeah.
much like you using your heroic abilities. So
Yeah.
now, one thing I do like about this system is that they allow you to, if you want to, roll for things such as like your starting race, your starting profession, or you can pick them. I mean, it's not, it's one of those things where, but they give you rolls, like charts that you can roll stuff up just if you want to expedite things, or if you just want to see what sort of chaos monster you want to make. The basic races, as far as in the main book, are human, halfling, dwarf, elf, mallard, as Makander was, and wolfkin, as Bastion was. In the bestiary, they do give some other races like cat folk and all the night folk if you want to try and be a goblin or a orc or something, and a couple of other ones in there too. I forget what they are off the top of my head, and there's also plenty of third-party stuff. For right now, again, we're just going to stick to the main book for ease of reference. Is there a race that interests you, or do you want to roll randomly?
I'm going to do an elf.
You're going to do an elf, all right.
I'm up for rolling randomly.
Then roll me a d12.
Wait, there's 12 different races?
No, but the chart
gotcha.
has you roll a d12.
Gotcha.
That's a 3.
A 3 is a human.
All right.
And then, Nick, did you want to
I'm
choose
going to be
race?
a duck.
You're going to be a duck? All right, you are a mallard. Now, each race has a kind of a, for lack of a better term, they don't call it a racial heroic ability, but really your race is kind of the only ones that get them. So, and ancestral ability, racial ability, whatever. So for the humans, they get adaptive.
This is going to go on abilities and spells?
This is going to go under heroic abilities. So for our human in the group, which I think
heroic
was
abilities?
Where's me?
Where's heroic abilities?
It's
on the
abilities
left-
and spells.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's
where
what I
you
asked.
just said
Okay.
it was.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So tell you what, Schmoops, what I'll do is if you have the PDF open, it's on page 10. If you want to just mark it down, I'm just going to read it real quick for the audience so they know kind of what's going on. Adaptive is cost 3 willpower points, like most heroic abilities do. But when rolling a skill, you can choose to roll using another skill of your choice. You have to somewhat justify how you're using the selected skill instead of the normal one, but the GM should, and the GM has final word, but should be relatively lenient. So it encourages cleverness and role playing. I love it. Then I'm going to jump to the elf. The elf gets a heroic ability called Inner Peace, which doesn't cost willpower, because what it does is when you take a stretch rest, which is that 15-minute rest, you heal an additional d6 hit points and willpower, and you recover from one additional condition.
Yeah.
So elves can kind of heal quickly. And then finally, for our epic realms here, we have the Mallard, and they actually have 2 heroic racial abilities.
Okay.
The first one is called Webbed Feet. It doesn't cost a thing, so no willpower point cost. It gives you a boon on all swimming rolls, and you move at your full speed in or underwater. And then the other ability that you get is called Ill-Tempered. And mallards tend to have a choleric temper, and you can activate this ability
How many
with
points?
no action. It's 3 willpower.
3 willpower.
And basically, when you activate it, you can get a boon on your skill roll, but you also become angry if you haven't already. This cannot, however, be used for intelligence or int-based skills.
Okay.
They also, in the races, they give you like a D6 if you want to roll for like a first name. I would suggest using a name creator thing instead, just because it gives you way more options. But if you're really pressed for time, you can always roll on the D6. That being said, we are then going to move to professions. Now, professions, it's sort of like a class, but it's not, because this is basically the profession you had before you took up adventuring.
Okay.
Because ultimately, as you gain experience and gain more heroic abilities, you can pick what they are to really kind of custom make your character. This is just where you started. And again, much like the races and whatnot, you can either choose a profession or roll randomly. The base professions, as far as what's in the game, are artisans, which are like crafters, bards, fighters, which is actually what Bastion was, if I remember, hunters, which leans a little bit more towards kind of the ranger concept a little bit if you're playing D&D. Knights, which I believe is what Mikander was.
Yep. This is before we became adventurers?
Yes, this is
Okay.
the profession you had before you became adventurers.
Okay.
Mage, mariner, merchant, scholar, and thief, which I believe I'm blanking on her name now.
Yeah. The character I was
believe
playing.
thief is, yeah, exactly. So, would you like to choose a profession, or would you like to roll randomly?
I chose Bard.
I
You
chose
chose Bard.
merchant.
You chose merchant, okay. And Kit, do you want to roll again randomly like you did before? And embrace the chaos, or do you have an idea?
I was thinking either mage or scholar. I wasn't sure which of the two.
Do both and you'll be a major scholar. Come on, that was worthy of a U.
It was.
It
was.
Wah, wah, wah.
All right, well, while you're doing that, I'm going to start with Bard. So here's a couple of things that you'll want to note for Bard, and for if you're in the PDF, it's like on page 15. So your profession gives you a couple of skill choices, and then it also gives you another heroic ability. So basically, as a player character, or as a starting character, you get 1 heroic ability, 1 to 2 heroic abilities from your race or kin, as they say, and then 1 from your starting profession. So unsurprisingly, Matt, it suggests that your key attribute is charisma. Not surprising there. What I would do is at least for right now, just in terms of noting them, you may want to put the little check mark thing next to these skills.
Okay.
And then I'll explain more what that means when we get to actually setting up your skills. But the skills that are part of that profession are acrobatics, bluffing, evade, knives, languages, myths and legends, performance, and persuasion.
Cool.
And then your heroic ability for bard is going to be musician. Now, one thing I do like about starting professions is they have you roll to say what your starting gear is.
Mm-hmm.
Not all professions start equally, but like it kind of covers what it is. So Matt, while I'm on that page for bard, roll a d6 to see what your starting gear is.
A 4.
So as a floor, you get a flute, a dagger.
It's one time at Bank Cap.
That's right. Hemp rope, a torch, flint and tinder, which flint and tinder can go under your on your character sheet as a tiny item.
Do you want your Tinder on your incognito browser?
That too. And then
Sorry.
you roll a d6 for your food rations and then a d8 for your starting silver, and that's your gear.
Nice.
So then we'll go to Nick, because you said you were a merchant.
Yes, I did merchant.
All right. Your key attribute is also going to be charisma. Go figure. So what I would suggest is, again, kind of what I told Matt, at least for right now, put the little check mark next to these skills. These are your professional skills. Awareness, bartering, bluffing, evade,
okay,
knives, persuasion,
okay,
sleight of hand, and spot hidden.
okay.
And the heroic ability that you get is called Treasure Hunter. And when you are ready, Nick, roll a d6.
What does Treasure Hunter do?
Give me just a second. I'll look it up.
So I can enter that in.
Treasure Hunter requirements: bartering of 12, willpower is 3. At a crossroads of some kind, you can activate this ability to learn the direction of the greatest treasures.
Okay, what's the cost?
3 willpower.
3 willpower, and the requirement?
You need I think I said it was a bartering of 3. Or no, of 12, pardon me. I'm brain farting. I can tell it's near the
Bartering
end
of
of the night.
12, and then the ability description.
Let me read it again here. At a crossroads of some kind, you can activate the ability to learn the direction of the greatest treasures.
That seems so vague. It's like the greatest treasures, yes, in the world, that way. In the town over, that way. To your heart, that way.
I mean, yes, yeah. I mean, there are some abilities that.
Like that one seems like I will never use it because it seems pretty worthless. Because it's just on a whim. It's on a whim of however it wants to be interpreted.
It's more of a exploration ability than necessarily like a combat ability or what have you. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah, but I mean, it's still so open to interpretation.
That is
true.
true.
Like if we're looking for something in particular in a dungeon, it doesn't necessarily that's valuable. It does like, well, Yeah, that's that. But there's on the other side of the world. If you go that way, on the other side of the world, there's something more valuable.
Well, it's a bit more local than that, but basically it's a way. If you want to think of it this way, it's a way for the game master to politely point you towards riches.
Or away from, or towards where you want them to go.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on, I guess, the type of game you're running too. Like, are you doing more of
Yeah.
a open world
They
thing?
should put
Are
a
you
range
doing...
on there and say within this amount of area, so that you have an idea.
Yeah. So roll me a d6 for your starting equipment then there, Nick.
6.
All right. So here's the equipment that you start with. A dagger.
Well, I gotta find where the equipment is listed. Backpack? Okay. Dagger.
Sleeping pelt.
Sleeping pelt.
A large tent.
Large tent.
An oil lamp.
Oil lamp.
Followed by lamp oil.
Lamp oil.
Flint and tinder.
Flint and tinder.
A backpack. So for those of you who are looking at the character sheet that Nick's on, if you click the little dot for the backpack, basically when you wear a backpack, it gives you extra inventory slots. And so when you click it, it should give you those extra
Get rid of
slots.
the thing where it says description on all these. Oh.
Okay. Just click the gear box thing for the moment, and you can.
Yep.
There you go. And then finally, roll a d6 for your starting food ration.
Another 6.
Of which you have 6. And then here's the kicker, because you're a merchant, you're wealthier. Roll a d12.
Wait, where
for
is
your
this food
starting
ration supposed to go?
in your inventory.
Oh, I just type in food ration?
Yep.
Okay.
And then roll a d12 for your starting silver. Reroll that. There you go.
You got a 1 out of it. That's hilarious.
Kit, what class did you or profession did you want to hone in on then?
I think I'm gonna go with the mage.
All right. So for the mage, your key attribute is going to be willpower.
Okay.
Now, when it comes to mages, their starting skill lists to choose from varies a little bit based on the school of magic that you are tapping into. So I'm going to go over those schools very briefly, just so to give you an idea. And there are more schools in other things, but we're just going off of the main book, and they give 3, which is an animist, which is more of a nature-based mage. In fact, that's what Gnarlfur was, because they also have some healing abilities. There's the elementalist, which is fireballs and nuke them till they glow, and even summoning elementals to fight for you and pretty much make fireworks go boom. And then there's mentalists, which kind of cover a gambit of I would say like magically augmenting things. So like giving yourself the ability to fly, or enchanting a weapon temporarily to be magical and do more damage, or maybe some telepathy, stuff like that. So it kind of, I'd say almost that the mentalist is kind of more buffing and like debuffing and all those kind of and maybe some more utility spells, not as necessarily big offensive punch as the elementalist or animist, although they still have, all of them have some offensive and defensive spells, so it's not like you're,
Sure.
I don't know, do any of those call out to you?
I'm gonna go with the elementalist.
Okay. So with the elementalist, here are the, again, sort of starting skills to choose from. Now, in this particular case, because you are a mage, you're going to actually click on where it says secondary skills to add the first skill on the list, which is called elementalism. Effectively, it's your spell casting skill.
Gotcha.
And then for the other
is that based
skills,
on willpower?
No, it is.
Is it intelligence?
I believe. Let me double check here. Core skills. Oh, actually, I have to look in the magic section. Sorry, hold on a second.
All good.
That's right before here. Each school of magic's skill is a secondary skill based off int.
Intelligence, okay.
Yeah. So, okay, so elementalism is going to be that secondary skill. And then as far as the other skills, again, I would just put a check mark in the box for now. So just so you know what they are. And it's going to be awareness, evade, healing, languages, myths and legends, spot hidden, and staves. Now, as a mage, you don't get a starting heroic ability, but instead you get a bunch of spells to start with. So it kind of makes up for it.
Got it.
We'll dive into that in a second. But for right now, don't worry about it just yet. So
actually, hold on.
The
Can
next,
I step away real quick?
Yes, you can. I'll kind of continue with
Appreciate
Nick
it.
and Matt here.
Sorry, I'll be right back.
No worries. So now the next step to your character is there we go, is choosing your age category to start with. They basically break down age into 3 values: young, adult, and old.
Wow.
Pretty straight, right? And there are trade-offs for whichever one you choose. So it's not like one is better than the other. But this will affect how many sort of starting skills you get to choose from. It may also affect your attributes slightly. If you are young, you typically have less skills overall that you're trained in, but your agility and constitution do go up by +1 because you're younger and healthier and haven't gotten into horribleness yet. For the adult, you get more skills than the youngin, but no attribute modifiers because you've now fully grown into your body. And if you're old, you get the most skills that you are trained in, but your strength, agility, and con are -2, but your int and willpower are +1. So those are kind of the trade-offs. You get to pick which one you want to start with. Or you can roll randomly, or if you want, just, adults sort of the middle of the road, easy enough to pick if you want. It's really kind of up to you, whatever you want to do.
I went young to play into my 5 int.
That works. That works.
It was young, adult.
Young, adult, and old.
Yeah, we'll just do adult since it's.
All right. So, Matt, we'll start with you real quick since I've got you there first. So, as a youngin, you have a total of 8 skills that you can be trained in. 6 of them have to come from those class abilities that I had you mark with the dot. And then 2 can be from any skills, any other skills, or it can be also in those skills that you put a dot in.
So what do I do?
These are the skills that you are trained in. So what happens is when you're so everybody has a base chance and a skill. So everybody can potentially do, as far as the main skills. Secondary skills is a little bit different story. But for all of the main skills on the character sheet, anyone can attempt to do them. Those that you are trained in start at a higher value than what is called the base chance, which is the lowest that your skill starts at. So I see on your character sheet, because I'm kind of in your character sheet here, even though I'm not doing anything with it, Matt. I see you've already put in your base chances. And your base chance kind of is slightly dependent on the attribute that the skill is connected to, which I see you've already kind of figured out. And for those at home, or watching, so basically, depending on what your attribute is, there's a little chart that tells you what your starting your base chance in that skill is. If you're trained, you double the base chance for that skill.
Oh, so I'll choose my 6 of being young or 8 and just double what that chance is.
Right. And so the trick is you have a total of 8 as a youngin, you have a total of 8 skills that you can choose from. 6 of them, though, have to be from your class list, the ones that I had you highlight with the dot.
Yep. So I just basically click it, add in the number that's there to double it. So say my knives is a 6. I click it, I change that 0 to a 6, and then I'm good?
Yes.
Okay.
And then once that's done, then you can get rid of the dot as well.
Perfect.
So I'm going to switch over to Nick's character sheet real quick here so I can just kind of help steer you here. Let me pull that up real quick here. So Nick, as an adult, you get a total of 10 skills that you can become trained in. 4 of them, or so 6 of them have to be from your profession's choice skills, which I had you mark with the dots.
Yep.
And then the other 4 can be in anything.
Okay. And how do I do that? Do I just
So to double it on Roll20, what you're going to do is you're going to click on the number for the skill, and you'll see it'll say 0 plus and then whatever you're at. So where the 0 is, you're just going to put in whatever the value is. So like, as an example, it shows you have a crafting of 6. If you chose crafting, you'd click on the 0, put a 6 in, and then that effectively doubles that base chance.
Okay. So I pick 6 of them that don't have dots and 4 that do?
No, you have to pick 6 of them that do have dots and 4 of them that can be either dots or non-dots.
Okay.
I got to switch out my earbud here real quick. We'll see how my mic goes. I will be back in just a moment.
1. 2. 3. 4. 5.
Okay, doing a quick. Nope, I have to. Let's try this.
6. And then 4 that are not. 1. 2. 3.
Okay, there we go.
And
I just want to check real quick. Can you still hear me okay?
yes.
Okay. Everyone's, I had to switch out my earbud and it took a little bit to sync up. So I just want to make sure you still got me okay.
All right. Oh, I just barely missed the dungeon. I just missed the dungeon.
So Nick, once you've got your
And hello,
skills
Barlack.
assigned,
Welcome in. What's that?
sorry, once you've got your skills assigned, you can go ahead and click off the red dots next to the skills. You won't need that lit up anymore.
Oh, I thought we were going to click level up.
No, that was just to help you identify what skills were your starting profession skills.
And I wanted to click level up on all of those.
Now, I will say, if you scroll down on your character sheet, and Matt, you can also kind of take a look at this too. So your weapons, your weapons don't necessarily have to go in inventory. You can quote unquote carry up to 3 weapons down in your weapons section, and then just fill out the information for weapons. If you have armor or a helmet, you can wear them and fill out the information on them in the, oh, shut up, phone. There you go. Sorry. And then click on the information for the armor and helmet if you have them and fill out that information. They also do not necessarily go in your inventory.
Okay.
Your flint and tinder actually goes under tiny items because it doesn't take up an inventory space. Just
okay, so flint and tinder is a tiny item.
Yes. So the way they, so for those watching, so the way they do inventory, they have a kind of a very basic system that certain items take up a bulk rating. Most things are usually like a 1 bulk rating, but very large items might take 2 or more. You can typically, as a character, carry enough inventory items, not counting weapons and armor, equal to, I believe it is like half your strength in inventory slots. Now, if you have a backpack, that gives you more inventory slots.
Okay.
That being said, you can also get like wagons and crates and chests and stuff to store more stuff in as you go adventuring and make all the moolah. So, which is something you'll need to invest and do because small amounts of coinage is considered a tiny item, but for every 100 coins, it takes up an inventory slot. So you can get weighed down.
Does the backpack also take up an inventory spot?
It does not.
Okay.
You just check mark that little button that gives you the extra slots.
Right, I'm going to uncheck or unmark that I have a backpack and just keep the slot checked.
Yep. Now, I will say this much. How they do food rations is technically 4 food rations equals an inventory slot.
Good to know.
Okay. And you said that the dagger, our weapons and armor do not take up an inventory slot?
Correct, because they go in under weapons or armor or helmet.
Okay.
Where it is on the character sheet. Now, you can only have 3 weapons or like your shield and weapons or whatever at hand, aka in your weapon slots.
Yeah, anything else goes in inventory?
Above that would then go into inventory. And to be quite honest, you've now made your characters. You're done. So, cool. Realistically, I mean, for our first time around, with taking a little break in and there, it took, us about an hour, give or take, or but realistically, now that you've made a character once, if you were to make a character again, especially with what you're doing, you can slap them together in like 20 minutes. So pretty
easily.
quick character creation.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the only thing we didn't do, and because it's nearing the end of the time, we won't necessarily do it right now. I'll just quickly explain it. For those that are spellcasters, they have to choose spells for the mages, and typically you're going to have there's like these little cantrip-esque spells, and you get 3 of those. And they only cost like 1 willpower a piece to cast, and you automatically succeed on casting them, but they're very minor. And then you get 3 first level spells from which can either be from the general spell list, because there's some spells that are considered open to every mage school, and then there's some specifically of your mage school. And then basically you start with 3 first level spells. And that's really the only difference between a mage and someone who is not a mage as a profession.
Fair enough.
And there you go.
The mage scene.
Oh, I should say there's one other thing I missed real quick here. So to determine your movement, part of it is based on your race and part of it is based on your agility. So I'm in Epic's character sheet right now. Epic, you are a mallard.
Yes.
They have a starting movement speed of 8, but then I see you have an agility of 18. Holy crap. That adds a +4. So your movement is actually going to be a total of 12.
Wow.
Okay.
Which is pretty dang awesome.
That's what my other character was, my pre-made ad.
Yep. Now, one of the nice things too is there's also this thing called a damage bonus that's based off your strength. There's a strength damage bonus and an agility damage bonus based off whether you're using a strength-based weapon or an agility-based weapon.
Right.
The nice thing is on the character sheets for Roll20, they automatically get filled in, but I just want to note them for those watching, what they are and what that more or less means.
Okay.
Matt, you are an elf.
Mm-hmm.
So they start with a 10 movement, and then what's your agility?
15, so that's +2 for 12.
+2, so you should have a 12.
Yep.
And then Kit, just real quick, you're a human. They start with a 10 movement. What's your agility?
10.
So no modifier. So you have a movement of 10. All right. So I realize we're kind of ending the night here. So I guess I would say just briefly, you guys have played a couple of sessions now, and now you've built the character from scratch just to kind of see how that goes. How do you feel about the system? What are your thoughts and opinions on it? We'll kind of finish up with that.
I think this system works really well, especially with the Roll20 integration.
Yeah.
I mean, the way that this character sheet just helps you like auto level and tracks everything and does all the math is so nice to be able to use.
Admittedly, the Roll20 integration is awesome.
Like it feels it's like one of those tools that even if you were playing pen and paper or like not over Roll20, it almost would make sense to have Roll20 up just to use it.
Just so you can use it, yeah.
I mean, this is what a regular character sheet looks like. If you notice, it's pretty much exactly like your guys' character sheet.
Yeah.
Oh.
But it's just nice that everything is pretty much automated and makes it really simple to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It is nice. I mean, the Roll20 integration is wonderful, but I do like, me personally, I like that it's a very simplified game in a lot of sense. Like
one of the things I like about the skills, because I like playing games where you increase what you actually work on, and I like how you get the chance, you get to work on some of those. So like if you crit, you know, crit fail or crit good, like you put a dot in there and you have a chance of leveling it up. But then you also can just choose stuff. So it's a nice little balance of that to be able to kind of like do both of the skills.
Yeah, it feels like an improved Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah.
Where there you can only increase things that you
and less
have.
complicated. Like you don't have to worry about the whatever. The math in this game is really easy on everything. I was kind of thrown off by the roll low, not high.
Sure.
But it makes sense because the skill goes up, and it's so the fact that the DC has nothing to do. You are your own DC. That one throws me off a little bit. I think that's one of the things that I'm like.
Yep.
It doesn't matter how much how challenging something is. It's your you can either do it or not.
The only thing the game master can do to make it more or less difficult is to give you a bane or a boon, basically. Right. But otherwise, you're right. It's your ability and the skill that really determines.
But it's like, what do? Well, I try and climb this ladder. Okay, roll your climb skill. Okay, I try to climb this mountain cliff. Okay, roll your climb. The DC is the same unless you get a bane or a boon. Like, it doesn't matter. Well, now it's covered in ice. Okay, well, maybe we'll give a bane now. So it's like there's not that scaling difficulty. So I'm not sure if I really dig that. Like I said, if it's like I can go up a ladder, or I can climb the sheer face of the wall, or I can climb the sheer face of the wall with ice. Well, okay, just roll, and your challenge is whatever that's there already there, sort of.
Right,
thing.
But they may give you some more banes or whatever to. Yeah.
That's my own. That's the only thing to me from a role playing aspect is that unless you do the bane or the boon, it's the DC. No matter how challenging it is, it's always going to be the same.
Yeah.
It has a very cinematic play, much like 7th Sea.
Yeah.
Or I forgot the other one that's made by that same company. And I think that very cinematic feel plays very well into that exact same thing you're saying, Nick, of you either make it or you don't, and it's just those boons or banes that change that kind of cinematic approach.
Yeah.
I will say so this game can become like you don't necessarily always play it like D&D where you can kind of keep going where you get a ton of hit points. Like even if you take the heroic ability to give you a couple more hit points, like as you saw, sometimes you get hit and you get nicked, and sometimes you get hit and it's like, damn, that's half my hit points or more.
Right.
Like,
yeah, I can see how
it's
how it can be super deadly.
Yeah, and in some ways I kind of actually like that. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like old school D&D, like where they kind of went back to basics in some things, and meant like because they even have rules for like as you travel, you go camping, there are encounters. If there are encounters, you don't get rest. Like. And stuff like that. So I mean, they definitely taps into some of that kind of old school role playing but at the same point they don't drown you in minutia. Like I think they found the balance of giving you challenges, but keeping the overall math and record keeping down a little bit, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, I definitely would agree.
And I will say, as a game master, they give you lots of charts and tables that if you want to randomly roll up an adventure, you can do it really quick and easy. So like prep time as far as doing stuff, it's pretty simple.
I want to make a whole add-on book that's just all like, because you've already got the Wolfkin and the Mallards. It's like I want to make a whole expansion book of races that are straight like, okay, this is the mouse person. All right, this is whatever the fuck the Animaniacs are person. Get all the different Disney anthropomorphic races in there, and then just make it set in like the Disney, the Disney kingdom or whatever. So it's like you could play like a medieval fantasy, whatever. You could have the main mage be like the Wizard's Apprentice. Mickey could be there, and you could like set it in that world.
I also thought one thing that was interesting is they don't have anything about rules or reference as far as visual stuff. So like everyone needs a torch to see in the dark. Like dwarves, elves, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Goblins still need a torch to see in the dark. like nobody gets. The only critter I have seen in the game is that hellhound that has the ability to see heat. That's like the only thing I've seen that gets close to seeing in the dark. No one else has it. Nothing. Which I kind of like. Again, kind of just back to basics, bare bones. I kind of dig it. And a lot of the third-party stuff covers a whole gambit. Like you want to talk about races, like I've seen turtlekin, bearkin, all sorts of stuff.
Right.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, Bryan, once again, thank you for running. Appreciate it.
Yes.
Have any idea what your next system is you want to try doing?
Well, I've got some options.
Rolling
and I
around in
will
the back of your
discuss-
brain?
And I will discuss with you, and maybe we'll put up a poll or something, and maybe have people vote on that.
Yeah, let me know, and we can make a poll, and I'll throw it in Discord, or maybe if you want to open it up to others as well to play or something, let me know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Awesome.
Absolutely.
And of course, Matt, Kit, thank you for joining us today. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you for running, Bryan.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tomorrow we'll be back to Once Human. Hard mode phase 3 is out. We're gonna be doing some challenging bosses and silo dungeons and stuff like that tomorrow, and just hanging out. Of course, Tangia, the dungeon which you guys were playing today, that will be available all day tomorrow as well during the stream. So if you want to get more gear, get more stuff for that, you are more than capable of doing that. Friday is the jump scare stream. I'll be changing all the sound alerts to jump scares for the game called Don't Scream, in which the goal is for me to not scream. If I make sound, then the game restarts on me and I have to start the game all over, and it is a jump scare stream. So you guys can cause the game to reset on me by making me crap my pants. So that will be a Friday, 6 p.m. Central. 6 p.m. Central on Friday will be the that little jump scare stream. Let me join the dungeon. Gotta join the dungeon. Oh, I missed it. I just missed it.
Great.
No, I missed the dungeon. Also, guys, Monday we're going to be joined by Olivia Blake, who is a author really well known from. She started out on TikTok, by the way. If you didn't know, she started out on TikTok and became super well known, and she got signed, and she's now got another series under a pseudonym name for young adults. So she's got two different genres of age categories for books, and so she's going to be joining us. She's going to talk about her journey from like I said, from social media star to author and everything in between, and what her books are about. It's going to be lots of cool stuff. So you want to join us for that on Monday. With that being said, guys, we're going to raid on out. We've got a friend playing Final Fantasy. I don't think I've raided her ever. And so we're going to raid out to Cricket. If you like wild energy and you like crazy shenanigans, and maybe a little bit of potty mouth, Cricket is for you. She's an amazing streamer. She's a lot of fun. So come along with us. You can use my raid emotes, your raid emotes, anyone's raid emotes. Just go ahead and make some noise in the chat over there. And if you like what you see and you haven't already, go ahead and click that follow button. We also have a Discord. You can come and join us and chat in there as well. Feel free to throw in your favorite food, your favorite memes, your favorite pictures, pet pictures, whatever you want in there. Throw something, maybe do, like a once a day, twice a day sort of post in there if you'd like. So thank you guys so much for being here. We're going to wait for this Tangia dungeon to get out, and we will head on out with the raid. Again, thank you so much, guys, for being here. Take care. Good night. Hug one another. Come on, dungeon. Hurry up. God damn it. I'm just adding words, dungeon. Adding words. All right, guys. Take care. Have a good one. And see you later.